I'm saying is when you watch like a fucking sci-fi show or something like that, they don't lead in directly with the intro music. They show you a little preview of the show.
Yeah, little preview,
then they do
and then
the
they
intro,
do it.
and then they start it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's cool because now we actually have been live for about a minute.
They show the murder first.
Yo, man, what's going on, people, man? It's going to be crazy tonight, man. Episode 200. But let me do his intro real quick because Manny worked hard on this, man. So give me a sec here. You know, check that out. You already know. All right, man. So we're here for episode 200. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
200 episodes. That's crazy. If you decided to add in the pre-Throwdown episodes, what was it, be like 250?
Nah, we're almost 300, man. Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
What up?
Brian Manjoma.
Yep, I'm here too.
Brett Murdoch.
So are we an institution yet?
Adam Vale.
What's up, people?
All right, man, we got two very special guys. This is episode 200, so we had to bring the biggest, the baddest of guests, man. First up, our boy, Mr. Gerard Williams, but you may know him as the HipHopGamer.
Yeah. Yo, congratulations, man. 200 episodes, and I'm on it. One love and God bless, man. Love you, bro. You already know what it is. Let's get it.
All right. And then the man, like, if it wasn't for this dude, you wouldn't know about any of us right now, son.
Facts.
The only Mr. Torrence Davis.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yo, Torrence, I'm gonna kick you right in your mustache. Real talk, son.
In the mustache?
Congratulations.
You really look like Professor Clump right now with that mustache on, son. You look like the nutty Professor times 10, son. For real, man. Go get you a Pop-Tart before we start the show.
Yo, hip hop, man. You know, he's over here trying to congratulate me, and you dissing him and shit.
Congratulations on episode 200, y'all. I don't know how you do. You guys do so many fucking podcasts. It blows my mind. You were only 60-something episodes. If you include the other episodes, you're like 60-something episodes behind me. How's that even possible?
Well, that's because you took a break for like 2 years, bro. We didn't stop.
But I'm just saying, you guys never stop. Like, there's never a time where you guys like, oh, there's no show tonight.
Nope.
Because I'm like, I'm going out. I'm doing something. The Avengers are out. No podcast. Or I got I'm fishing this weekend, so y'all can wait. Plus, there ain't shit to talk about. You guys find something to talk about every week. It blows my mind how you do that. And remember, I'm pretty much solo, so it's even harder for me. And I kind of bounce off the guys that are listening. But you guys come up with shit every week, even if there ain't nothing going on.
That's how we do it, man.
That's all Tony right there, man. He's doing, going through the things, looking for shit for us to look at.
Yeah, but crazy. To be honest, though, even if I got like 2 topics, you guys help me out with that, so that's always good. But here's the thing, Torrence, like you said, it's only you. Like, let's just say I'm not around, Manny can host it. Manny is not around, Carlos hosting the shit. Like, we got redundancies here, man. Like,
yeah,
never miss a show, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, what's been going on with you, Torrence, lately, man? What's up?
Oh, well, I'm doing the show. The show has been back for a while, and people are enjoying it. What's crazy is a lot of people that used to listen to it either on the Bitbag or Shut the Fuck Up and Play, they're starting to find me on the internet. So more and more people are grabbing onto it. So I've been doing that, and I've been, doing a lot of fishing and just living life. There's a lot of things I'm gonna do that I'm planning on doing. I want to get back into film and photography, and I guess now is the best time to do that.
Yeah, but, I know you ain't fucking with these gamers no more, man. All this bullshit going on.
I'm so tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of it. One of these days I'm gonna lose my fucking mind, and I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings. That's how bad it is. I see some of this shit. Because years ago I used to argue with guys on Twitter all the time, and then I just stopped doing it. But occasionally somebody just gets me. Somebody pushes my buttons and gets me to fucking jump down their throat. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? I would have thought that after last gen, people would have smartened up, got a little mature, enjoyed the tools and the things that they had. Nope. Can't have nice things. People always got something to complain about. And the worst part of it all is they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Most of the time.
And it's gotten worse, too.
You had hope.
Yes.
That's where you went wrong.
I had hope. I was like, I can change these people. I can show them the way. Nope, forget about it.
Yeah, and hip hop, man, what's going on with you? You're like the busiest dude in the industry, man. You always got something going on.
Yo, man, God is good. Everything is great. Yo, so check it out. Like, first off, my son is amazing, so I'm always thankful for that. You know what I'm saying? My son is amazing. He's doing good, so that's great. You know, in my life. First, I did my first official Hot 97 live stream today, exclusively for NBA 2K19, and that was dope because I'm not sure if any of y'all know who Gary V is. But Gary Vaynerchuk, VaynerMedia, he's one of like the biggest entrepreneurs in the world. So I managed to partner with his company 1:37 p.m., which just launched their website yesterday. So now I'm a partner with that. So my media brand has grown. So that right there was crazy. Did the live stream today. So that was amazing. That's one. PAX West was fire. Played a lot of great games, met a lot of amazing people, and currently working to be in 2 more video games right now as we speak. So that right there is exciting in terms of that. The third thing is my partnership with Logitech G is growing on a whole nother level to the point where it's leading me to have a tour with different schools. So like starting in October, I'm going to be going to different schools each month and having like an auditorium like event where we have a gaming tournament, a panel discussion, and a Q&A with the kids to you know, just inspire and you know, help them out and show them that whatever they're passionate about, they could also be profitable with. And being positive is cool. You don't got to be rewarded for negative things anymore, especially coming from the hood, from the street where we come from. So just changing the narrative on that. So that's great. I did a new song for Honor. They got it. They love it. So it's a great chance my song will have some sort of involvement with For Honor Marching Fire coming out soon. So that's exciting. And I got a whole bunch of other stuff too. Oh, yo, Kevin Durant saw my stream today, yo.
Oh, shit.
A comment. I'm hyped, sir. Kevin Durant. So shout out to Kevin Durant. That was cool. So that was dope. And my girl, Red Infamy, got the red Spider-Man PlayStation 4 Pro. So that joint lit. I ain't even well, she ain't opened it yet, but yeah, it's lit. So it's crazy.
It's not really lit. It's just
I'm having a great time, man, playing all these games and everything. So we doing good, man. We doing good. You know
what I mean? Hold on, Torrence. What did you just say, man?
It's not really that good. It's just a red PlayStation with a Spider-Man logo.
Yo, don't be hating, titty boy.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing that they're not good at is special editions. The best one they had was that
Spider-Man.
Was that Final Fantasy one?
I got that same mug. I got that same mug.
Yeah. All right.
Let's get it.
I need to stop. Hold on. I need to stop your side because people. Yeah. Oh shit. Damn. Okay.
Did you just call me
2K.
Titty Man?
Yeah, he did call you Titty Man, but I want to.
Shut up, itty bitty man.
By the way, I need to quickly, because people are getting angry in the chat already. We need to do this contest already. We were having a Spider-Man contest.
Oh, yes, we do.
Motherfuckers like, yo, I want to go to sleep, man. Who knows the fucking winner?
I usually wow, all right.
I usually make
yo,
people
fuck that.
Like
Yo,
the middle of the show.
Go wait at the end of the show now talking all that shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's what I do.
All right, baby, do the randomizer, man. Who won this motherfucker,
we still
man?
got, you guys, I think you guys need to vamp a little bit because I still need to pull up all the randomizer and shit.
See, Manny, what happened, man?
I mean, see, I messed up. So y'all got to wait a little bit. So,
right. Well,
talk amongst yourselves.
Who the fuck gives a shit away at the top of a show? What are y'all motherfuckers thinking? Like, you ever seen any motherfucker do that? Like, welcome to the show. Here's your fucking prize. No, that shit doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Where does that happen? Show me where that happens.
All right, I'll give you a little bit more time. Yo, hip hop. Have you played Spider-Man on your TV yet, man?
In a few hours I will.
Whoa.
In a few hours I will. I will tell you this though. I will tell you this, man. You know how I feel about God of War, right? I gotta say this because I don't think people are gonna believe me.
Keep it real.
But you know how I feel about God of War. God of War is the best game, like the latest one is the best game ever made, period. Like for me, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you something. Devil May Cry 5. Listen. I still got to get it home and play it, you know, go to the story and stuff like that. But from a graphical standpoint, like Devil May Cry 5 may actually, I still got to wait till I get home on my TV. But right now, I think Devil May Cry 5 slightly surpassed God of War, son, with the graphics.
Yo, what TV do you have now?
It's crazy, son, I'm telling you, son.
What TV do you have now?
I got the Sony X900E 75-inch 4K HDR joint, son. The
It's
joint
not
is
an
crazy.
OLED?
Nah, OLED whack. OLED whack.
I'll have that. What?
OLED whack. Battle me. Battle me. Let's go.
Are you insane?
Let's go.
Are you insane?
Let's go. Let's go.
Hold on.
Let's go. Let me know when you're ready. Let me know when you're ready. Let me
Man,
know
I'm
when
so
you're
glad
ready.
to be here.
You about to take
Yo,
L's.
hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
How is
Yo.
OLED whack? How is OLED whack? What is wrong
I'm gonna
with
tell you right now. Huh?
Deep blacks, rich colors.
Listen. No, it burns your screen. That's one thing. It burns your
That
screen.
doesn't burn your screen.
You lie. Listen. Torrence, let me explain something to everybody in the chat, right?
I've heard everything
So,
now.
Shut up. So look, I have a partnership with B&H Photo. Shout out to B&H Photo. Those are my peoples, right? So I get access to pretty much any TV I want to test out, right? So let me tell you what happened. First, but I'm gonna give you the story on how I led up to the TV I got now.
All right,
So,
hold on. Hip-hop, before you give the story, give a shout out to my man Andre Tipton who just joined us. What's going on, Otaku man?
What's up, Otaku man?
I'm so
Otaku
glad
man,
to
what
be
up?
here right now. You
What's
have
up,
no
man?
idea.
Isn't this the
I'm so
best,
glad to
Andre?
be here.
I do the taco. What up? So check this out, right? I had the Sony Z9D, right? And the brightness level was insane. I get to the motion handling. It doesn't handle motion great. It flickers too bad because of the black frame insertion. Horrible. Take it back. Get the Samsung QLED, right?
QLED is not OLED, by the way.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
So Samsung QLED, right? That joint is dope. It's nice. I like it. It was better than the Z9D. But you get to that motion flow, that motion handling, horrible. That joint is
Well, I'm glad you agree
son.
with me now.
Horrible,
Motion flow sucks.
right?
All right, go ahead.
So got rid of that. I had a Vizio P series, right? Vizio P series, amazing. I love the Vizio P series, right? So I was gonna stick with that. Then I got the Sony A1E, the OLED Sony A1E, top of the line. Joint looked great. Don't get me wrong, it looked great. That infinite contrast. I understand the technology. It's phenomenal. It's great, but it does have burn-in. But not only does it have burn-in, the motion on that one is worse than the Samsung and other Sony. It was horrible. It handled motion horrible.
Sony OLED's bad, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. I had the Sony OLED. I didn't have
the LG.
LG.
Yep.
I didn't have the LG OLED, but I've tested the LG OLED at my friend's Best Buy because he let me test it and go into the settings and everything. And I tested it on a motion. Same issue.
Man,
Same
fuck
issue.
the motion flow.
Same
all
issue.
right?
No. Don't tell me F the
bullshit.
motion because that's the most important part. Shut up. I'm talking. So let me go, right? So look, I love you, Torrence. So look. So here's the deal, right? I get to the Sony X900E, right? And shout out to my dude Quantum Apotheosis. Y'all gotta check out his channel. So he was talking crazy about the motion. He talked like how I talk when it came to the games, right? I get the TV. Dude, this joint is fire. You never ever seen God of War or anything in life until you seen it with the way I got it set up on my TV, bro. That joint is immaculate, son. Yo, my Sony TV is so great. It's like the combination of an Eminem and a Biggie verse.
But it's better than OLED?
Yes, it's better than the OLED.
Better than IMAX?
Clearly better than the OLED. Yep, better than the IMAX. Yep, like I said before. You think I'm
Well, if the 1080p TV couldn't, like,
What?
IMAX couldn't beat. Remember, like the long conversation was your 1080p could beat an IMAX. That was an old war zone.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, that was 2012 when I had the Samsung ES8000 TV. Still got that one, and that one still handles motion great. It's just 1080p. Once you start playing 4K and you get all the ultra settings on PC and all this other stuff, or you start playing some Sony exclusives with the 4K checkerboard, whatever it is, you can't go back, bro. Especially on PC, you cannot go back. I can't wait to get my RTX 2080 Ti. We lit.
Yeah, Manny, you good now, man? You got the context ready, man?
But that's a great conversation there.
Because the whole conversation shifted in the chat. Like everybody's talking about TVs now. So that was fantastic. Thank you for that. That was fantastic.
Yeah, here's the thing. We got a lot of names. We have who entered the contest. We're coming from the people from YouTube, and then I got to go and do the guys from Twitter as well.
E-Man has beautiful eyes. They look like robotic eyes.
I am an AI.
Yeah, but
I like how softly you said that.
Yeah. But since Manny's still doing it, Andre, man, how you been, man?
Hanging in there, man. Just doing me.
Nothing new. Nothing new exciting going on in your world, man.
Not really. Trying to get my game room. Set up. I'm actually in it right now, trying to get it worked out. And
wait. You already had a game room. What's this new game room? What's this?
I bought a new. I got a new place now, so got a new. So this.
Stepping it up.
Yeah, I got this, and then I got another. We got 3 garages, so I'm actually cleaning out one of the garages. We're turning it into a studio.
Damn, 3 garages.
So yeah, we're trying to move up a little bit. You know,
I need to move up somewhere, man. 3 garages.
It was working. We working on it.
Yeah, that's fancy right there, man. I'm thinking you're gonna do some shit like, Metal Jesus. You're gonna have like everything in the background, your game shit, you know,
something like that. Me and him hooked up at Mo GameCon about a month ago.
Hey guys, this is Metal Jesus.
I was picking his brain and Reggie and talking to those guys and stuff. It was cool.
Yeah, Reggie's cool, man.
I got a few ideas about what I need to do for my room and stuff like that. So we're working on a few things. Got a couple of little shows popping up. I'm working on right now. So that's my focus right now. I'm working on these shows.
You know what you got to do? You gotta break the phase of if you're gonna do game stuff and having a big wall of your games and behind you.
Oh yeah,
everybody does it.
I'm gonna do artwork now. I'm gonna try to pull a broke Jay-Z thing. I'm gonna do artwork on the wall. So
yeah. By the way, shout out to Ryan the Professional for the super chat, and thanks to Soda for the super chat, man. Yo, keep us going, man.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, right. Yeah, what the fuck is he, man? Yeah, we had this one sugar daddy. He don't come around no more, man. He was always giving us money.
Pause.
Shout out to Dan.
Come out right at all.
Yeah. That's what I call him. He kept giving us money all the time, man. And then we found him randomly on some other YouTuber giving him money. We felt cheated on, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what was up with that?
Stupid. Oh man.
Yeah, all right, man. Come on, man. I want to get this shit started already.
Yo, man, we got lots of names here, man. I gotta delete the comments to go with them.
Yeah, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna dive in. We'll get to the
dive into it, and I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Anyway, since it's episode 200, I want to do something different. Fuck the news, all that stuff. I want to keep things like hip hop. Like you were talking about, a little positive. You know what I'm saying, man? Because we're talking about negative shit. So
we're not gonna be talking about puddles.
No puddles tonight, man. We did that before the show, So just a couple of things here that are kind of evergreenish topics that and we got some like big guys here, so I definitely want hear your origin stories and your thoughts on some of this stuff. So the first one I want to talk about is
what do you mean big guys? HipHopGamer's here.
Oh damn, hip hop! You gonna let him do you like that, man? He bigger than you, Torrence.
You know what? We got a long show. I'm gonna let him have that moment. We gonna know how this is gonna end for him. So let's just go. Let's roll.
All right, man. So yeah, the first one is I want to get everybody's story, specifically you three guys. What are the games and the systems that turned you into gamers? This is gonna be a fun one, man. And feel free to go deep. Andre, why don't we start with you, man?
Man, it was probably arcade at first because that's where I first played Pong. So,
oh wow,
that's what got me. That's what got me, man. Pong, and then I got my Atari 2600. And I started getting into those games. Pitfall is the thing that got me really serious into gaming. It seriously got me. That's where I got my first pseudo writing gig when I was young. So that was a good shout out to David Crane for that was epic. But yeah, man, we were talking about that the other day. Me and some friends of mine were hanging out playing old versions of Pitfall.
You can't be shouting out David Crane. These dudes don't know who that dude is.
I know, but they got Google.
Come on, man. They don't know who he is. They don't know about that page, dude.
Oh man, that's But we were really just going through all the different levels of Pitfall, like different games. Like we played the Commodore 64 version and the Amiga version and the Atari 400 and Atari 800, ColecoVision. We just went down the line. But yeah, man,
bless your heart.
The 2600 was like that was a pivotal, besides the NES and all that stuff, that was a pivotal moment for me. That's when I got that. I was like, yeah, this is it. And just getting that, talking to David, getting to actually talk to him as a kid. And him I like what you thought. Hey, why don't you send me, write down what you liked about Pitfall. So
wait a minute, you've communicated with David Crane?
Dude, when I was a kid, I was probably 9. I just asked. Yeah, I had my instruction booklet on the floor, and I was just looking at it. I was like, because I thought, how you play the game, and they got the 3 alligators across the pond, and after a while, it gets easy. So I was like, if they added a 4th one, it'd be cool. So I just called somebody, and my mom, is like 78. She still talks about that phone call because it cost a lot of money back then. She said, I called up and said, I need to talk to somebody about Pitfall. And she was like, the lady was like, who? I was like, just anybody. I don't care. So next thing you know, it was David Crane. I was like, I didn't know it until after I had talked to him and read the instruction booklet. I was like, oh, okay. And he told me to send him a letter about what I liked about the game. And that was my first review. And then
Claire, this little niglet called California.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know who this niglet is.
Run up my phone bill.
Yeah, exactly. I heard that for about 6 months. I can't believe you did that. And I said, well, you know. But yeah, they sent me a box. Activision sent me a box of games after that.
Holy shit, dude! I never heard this story. This is awesome.
River Raid, fucking Keystone Capers, all that shit, dude. I had all that shit.
Wow.
And they were like, here, write about these. I'm like, okay. And you know, you're a kid, so you're writing all these big, right? The letter looks all big and it looks all crazy, but it's jacked up, but they liked it.
Hey, remember when video game publishers had a soul? Well, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, I love the story. Andre actually told the story the first time we had him on Throwdown. You know, you went into more in depth, but I love that. It's like this little kid calling up these video game executives, telling them, "Yo, can you?"
But you can't do that now. You can't do that now, man. It's just crazy. Because I don't know. I was just
that's a tweet. That's what you do now.
Yeah, right.
Like, I hate you and your mama. And then
where the puddles at, motherfucker? Where the puddles at?
Back, man. Yo, Phil, where's the puddles?
Back then, there was no social media. Most gamers weren't looking in instruction manuals and calling up the companies.
Oh, I did that all the time.
It wasn't a thing. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, and you'll probably agree with me, that didn't get huge until 1-800-USA Sega, when motherfuckers had to call them up to figure out how to beat fucking Fantasy Star.
Oh, that was Nintendo, man. Nintendo Hotline. That was Nintendo Hotline.
Nintendo was good, but you had to wait a long time.
Sega, yeah, because they wanted to get that money out of you.
Sega was like, you actually got on the phone with Sega pretty quickly.
No, with Nintendo, they give you a little thing, and then you hear them messing around with their papers, like, let me see how I can get. They would do one of those.
Yeah, and one day about 12 years ago, I called up somebody at Sega. It was like, hey, I was trying to work on a tips magazine or something, just to get something out, and they sent me like a whole box of like old scripts for like the Sega tip line, and
nice.
Wow. Got all the tips and tricks from all the games, like Master System. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. They had
that's crazy.
Zillion in there, and I was like, what in the Govelius? And I was like, oh my god, what in the world? But it was cool. I've hit some good lucky strides over the years. So
nice, impressive. I've never heard that story. That's some cool shit.
Yeah, I
really want to know where you get them Sega Saturn system discs, but we're not gonna get into that.
I can give you the whole story. How we got that?
I was like, how in the hell did you get those?
That was a hard thing to get, and I was blessed that day. So basically, what he's talking about is on the Sega Saturn, in order to play gold discs, you needed a Sega Saturn system disc. So you could buy a basic Saturn, and in order to play those gold copies that the developers run off, whether it's alpha, beta, or final, you needed the system disc to play it. So I went to E3, had a meeting with Sega, and we're sitting in a conference room. Me and my cousin were sitting there talking to them and talking about the games, all the stuff that's coming out. And they gave us a system disc because they knew we needed it to play all the stuff that they were sending out early. And so I had my system disc, and it came in handy because I had a ton of Sega games that would only work with a system disc. So I wasn't good with Sega back then, and I was lucky to get that. Never got my black PlayStation, though.
And you never got the black one?
Never got the black. That was the hard. There was the blue one, and then there was the black one.
Yeah.
And let me think. This is the PS1, and I can't remember which one was the highly coveted one. I think it was the black one that was the highly coveted
more. Yeah.
Every editor wanted that. There was a waiting list to get that PlayStation, and I told them just fuck it, and they just sent me a regular one, a regular gray PlayStation. But yeah.
That's crazy, man. So, Tony, the question was, what was the system that got you into gaming?
Yeah, the system and the games that got you into gaming, And hip hop, you told your story before, but we want to hear it again, in depth.
All right, well, in depth. So growing up in East New York, in the 80s, it was really, really bad, right? So I remember when I was young, it's like my house got shot up before. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy like that. So my grandma was very adamant on creating a scenario where our attention, me, my brother, my sister, our attention was not focused on the streets and stuff like that, because that's what we had to live with and deal with every day. She wanted to utilize games and stuff like that. So I gravitated toward it the most, obviously. So Atari 2600 is the first system I ever had, and Pac-Man was the first game I ever played that I remember playing. And that joint was like crazy, but it was the Nintendo 8-bit Super Mario Brothers system. And the moment that truly made me a gamer was a competitive moment. So my god brother Charlie, he said that he could beat me in Mario Brothers. So we played 2-player, and he go first. I went second, and I got so good at the game because he didn't know I was playing that much that I never died. Like, literally, like, he went and he got up to level 1-4 and lost to Bowser. And then I went and I beat the whole game without dying. Yes, I did skip levels, but I beat the whole game without dying. And when that happened, I realized I was just hooked. I was addicted. So I would say Nintendo was the system and Mario was the game and franchise that locked me in for life as a gamer. That would be how that happened. Now, one thing I would say that continued that, because people lose their way. So to me, what continued that like love, like for the games. So there's another game that came out. It was on Sega Genesis. One of the games was Comic Zone. So Comic Zone was so amazing because you was playing a comic book.
Yeah, that game was crazy.
So at that moment, I was like, yo, the creativeness, like the level of creativity in games, period, is limitless. Because when I saw that, I thought it was the most amazing thing that can be created. It made me want to do that more than play with coloring books or read comic books. Now that I knew I could have this in my gaming library, like, you know what I mean? So there's been pivotal moments in my life with gaming that kept me gaming and connected the relationship that I have with gaming to it. And then what really sealed the deal was PS2 God of War. Like, when that happened, it was a wrap. So those are like 3 iconic moments in my life that made me realize that gaming is forever. Gaming is the future, and that's why it's the #1 platform for entertainment and engagement in this day and age.
Well, that's what's up, man. And Torrence, what about you, man? What set this all off, man?
Okay, so I think I got you all beat. I could say, yeah, I like Otaku Man. I started off in the arcades. I actually started off in arcades that were nothing but pinball machines. And then my first actual video game was Pong in the arcade. And there was a couple others like the submarine game and things like that. Pong was the very first video game in the arcade I played. I saw the whole transition from pinball machines to video games. It was really crazy. But my first system and first game, it was still Pong because it was on the home system. First system was a Fairchild F. Fairchild F came out shortly. I missed
mine.
Yep. That came out shortly before the Atari 2600.
Wow.
And this is the machine that was developed by Jerry Lawson.
Jerry Lawson.
Yes. Yep. So he developed, it was first cartridge-based system. It was like the Atari. They had these funny controllers that were like something you'd probably see in the cockpit of a plane. It was like a handle with a analog stick on the top, or a digital stick at the time. And so it was the Fairchild F, and my grandfather had this sitting in his den. So whenever I went to my grandfather's house, I'd have him set up turn it on the system for me so I could play games. And it had baseball, it had Pong, it had a cowboy shoot 'em up game. You know, basically the same stuff you saw later on the Atari 2600, but it was a lot of quote unquote arcade ports that they brought for the home system. It had a baseball game That was pretty cool. And I'd sit there with those chintzy graphics and those colors and those terrible controls, and I absolutely loved it. Every time I went to Stoughton, that's all I was thinking about. Going up in the den and playing those damn video games. But that is truly what got me into it. But I'd say pinball machines in arcades is where it really started.
It's interesting because a lot of people don't even talk about pinball machines, but that was an important aspect of arcades back in the day. You know?
Yep.
And even now, if you go to like a proper arcade, you got to have that pinball machine in the background.
You got to have one or two of them there. Yep.
Yeah, the reason I bring it up because when I go to a barcade, right, and Torrence, I'm assuming you know what barcade is, right?
Yes.
They always got those two joints in the back, two pinballs, and there's always people there.
Category,
yep.
It's for me, that's like with skee ball. Then if I'm gonna go in that direction, then it's skee ball. But that's carnival stuff. That's playing. At Favor over in Coney Island.
He's like, man, fuck that shit. Ain't no video games.
That's
all right,
not a video game.
Yeah.
It's like arcade shit. Then if we're gonna add that, then my first was just also using a water gun to blow up a clown's head.
Yeah, right, Adam. We're gonna get to you right now, but actually, we have the shit ready, people. Contest time.
Let's go, drum roll.
Yeah, who won a free copy of Spider-Man exclusively for the PlayStation 4?
After going through all the names and and running our randomizer, the winner of Spider-Man for PlayStation 4 is Biohazard Studios from YouTube, who commented and said, let's see what they said. They said that the question was to win, they could be eligible for the contest was, what was your favorite Spider-Man game? And this guy said, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
It's a good one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Biohazard Studios. You're giving it to Capcom?
Yeah, it sounds like Capcom won this shit. What happened?
Yo, man, Capcom entered the thing? No.
Yeah, all right. So Biohazard, man, if you're watching us, man, hit me up, on Twitter at RomUdeath, and we'll get you this shit as fast as possible. Or you can also contact, us over on Twitter at Throwdown Show or over on the back end of the YouTube channel. Either way, you have options. Contact us as soon as possible, man.
Preferably, if you get contacted with us now and if you live close to a Best Buy, we could instantly have it so that you can go pick up your copy of the game right when you want it.
Yeah, because Amazon's fucking up as usual.
You'll probably get like 2 months later if you got it from Amazon.
It's crazy. All right, so again, congratulations, man. It's fucking awesome. We may have another contest later on.
We may.
All right, man. So keep going, Adam, man. How did you get into gaming, bro?
My dad, he worked at an electronics store over on the Delancey Street, and he would bring home shit. And he brought home the 2600, that, and a printer, which is weird. So I had that, and I had a little printer connected to it, and I just had football.
I remember that printer. It had the little holes in it.
Yeah, it was like its own dot matrix. It was really bad, but that's what they gave him. So I had that. And so, yeah, that was my first. I didn't really care too much for it. I mean, it was fun to play, but it wasn't until later on when the actual Nintendo came out and I got the one with Duck Hunt. So I got Mario and Duck Hunt and playing that, and that's when I got hooked. Playing that, Elevator Action, and all those early games. And it was just fun. I had my own little friend, Robbie the Robot. That was cool.
Remember those guys? That shit, guys, man.
Life, he never left me. All my other boys left me, but he never left me. So, and that was it. That was it. From then on, it was never really thought about. I never really thought about it. Like I always just kept playing games, and then you would get some console, then I get some consoles. We just kept playing, but it wasn't considered a thing. It wasn't like it is now. Like, oh, are you a gamer? It was like, no.
Yeah, it was just like one of many things that you did when you were younger. It's like, oh yeah, I ride my bike, I play a game, or
exactly.
Read some comics.
Yeah, then Nintendo Power came out. That was cool. That was the first subscription of any sort that I ever received in the mail. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Get to get those posters and find guides and stuff. I called the cheesy hotlines and my grandma's house.
We called the thing quite a couple of times.
Yeah, and then from there it led to calling the sex line with Richie one time, and then Grandma picked up the other phone. That was a very awkward situation, But yeah, no, and then that's it. It just kept going, and then as the internet really took hold, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm a gamer. With you. What? What do you, well, I play all these games. Well, yeah, I play games. That's a thing now. Oh, there we go. It's like a foot fetish. That's a thing. So I'm like, okay, so this is where we're at now. And so yeah, so that just kept going because I realized my collection was ridiculous. I had all these consoles, all these games, and then I just kept going.
You know, I got a question. That brings up some. When did people start identifying as gamers? Like, because I didn't really consider myself. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think about that until maybe out in my 20s. Yeah. So Torrence, hip hop, and you guys, what do you think about it? When did that actually start?
I mean,
that's a good question.
That's a real good question. Well, here's what I would say. I mean, I always, because to me it was just common sense. If you play games like the way we did, you know, it was what we were. You know, we was gamers. But it was more like amongst people that game, because you know, back in the day, it like wasn't cool to be a gamer because you're labeled as a nerd and they want to try to pick on you. They ain't work on me because I could fight. So let's get it. But anyway, like my whole point in saying that, I think, and this may sound crazy, Torrence, correct me if I'm wrong, man, but I think like during the era of like PS2, I think that's when the whole gamer term started to grow. I'm gonna tell you why. When PS2 added DVD to their machine, everybody was buying PS2s, even if they didn't want it for games. They just wanted it because it was a cheaper DVD player. And a lot of people started discovering how dope games were, because it was like if you wanted a PS2, you knew it was a game machine. So everybody knew they was purchasing a game machine. And it was like the moment where everything started bridging the gap. Because if you got it for DVDs, but you always knew about the games that was on it or whatever, like you might dib and dab, but the game's a little bit. Then it's like, oh shoot, this ain't that bad. Oh, this is kind of cool. And then to me, you know, more games that was more mature was starting to like really, really come out on PS2 as well. Think about it. Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying? That was a big changer right there. That was like a global phenomenon when that came out, Grand Theft Auto 3.
Well, actually, a lot of the more, you know, like the different market was actually with the original PlayStation. You know, Sony was officially looking for that audience. We're looking for an older audience. In fact, they had to actively, specifically look to make games for younger audiences. Like, you know, that's when Crash Bandicoot and Spyro came out.
Maybe it wasn't even us. Maybe it was just the market, because I think once game stores started opening up and people were like, yo, what's this store sell? Just video games? What the hell? Why is it just video games? Then it's like, all right, it's like going to a music store. You know, it's all music. Oh, then you really into music. You're one of the music head guys. You just like listening to music. Now it's like you got your own place. I hang out at a comic shop. You hang out in a comic shop, then that means you like reading comic books, right? You're really into it. So I think
that's interesting too, because I remember the days of Funko Land.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? KB Toy Store and stuff. So that's a very interesting point too. I think all those points are extremely valid to what led to this commercialization of oh, you're a gamer. Like you understand what I'm saying? So
no, because you're right. I never thought about that. Like in the 90s, we never labeled ourselves that. You know,
it's just something that we did. It didn't have a label. It's just something that we did.
Yeah,
I think it just became like. I do think you're right though, hip hop. I think it seems like in PlayStation 2 era, it seemed like that was a where the term started to get used quite a bit in, you know, popular media and stuff like that.
Yeah, it became a turning point, because remember, in the PS2 era, that's when we got the most. That's when the gaming industry started truly getting the most publicity, because that was the big shift between gaming media and just general entertainment media, between music, movies, games as a collective, because it was all on the system. And then on top of that, the games that came out was more adult-like. Like things started to really shift in terms of that world. That's when you got all the politicians and everybody saying Grand Theft Auto 3 should not be in your house, and Mortal Kombat should, like, it just took it to such a level that it was mostly and also I think that's probably why PS2 is still to this day the most sold system ever, because that was the like time commercially where it broke all the barriers.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. By the way, who is this? Louis Conyer. He goes, ask Torrence if he beat the Tower Knight yet.
Tell Louis to kiss my black ass.
There you go, man.
Oh my God!
Right. We're having this show 200 episode, and he's bringing up the fucking Tower Knight. I swear to God, man.
So
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
there's plenty of people giving you a shout out. Yeah, Torrence, I told you this before. Like, there's cats that come up to me like, "Yo, what's Torrence been up to, man? He needs to be on YouTube." I'm like, "He been on YouTube for years."
Yeah,
right.
You know, shit.
Somebody contacted me tonight, DC Andrew, and asked me if I remember. I'm like, "Of course I remember you." And I gave him the link. I told you, people are starting to find me again. It's weird. It's crazy.
It's kind of it's odd because it's like you would think a lot of folks would know if they were on your Twitter and all that sort of stuff. It's like I guess the only place people ever knew that where you were at was at the Bit Bag or
oh shit! Yo, check this out. Lewis's Dirty Death Dealer, man.
Oh, Dirty Death Dealer. What's up, man?
Hey, yo, that's awesome, man. Oh shit!
Secrets revealed.
YouTube.com/VG Warzone. If you don't know where I'm at.
Yeah, shout out to Weapon X too. He's in the chat. What's going on, Weapon?
What's up, man?
Yeah, Weapon, that's my dude.
Wait, who's Weapon X?
Come on, Tor, you fucking troll, man. You know Weapon X.
Wait, you mean Reggie?
Yeah, man.
He's not using Weapon X anymore. He's like Killer
Weapon
Instinct 8 or something.
Oh my god.
Yo, by the way, Andre, you're gonna love this story. You know who jumped into my mentions the other day? Fucking Hypersonicu, man. That crazy motherfucker.
Fuck out of here. No way. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep, and I started following him back. I'm like, let me see what this
He was
dude is
just
up
on
to.
Sheldon got this. He got on this whole thing about Destiny 2 or something something about gamers or something the other day, and he was on that. I was like, dang, I ain't heard from this dude in forever. Oh man, I need to hit him up.
Yeah,
crazy.
Bro family. This is a gaming show. What are you asking? Are we still talking about games today? Come on, bro.
Yeah, we're still talking about games.
Yeah, anyway, let's keep going, man. Chris, man, how'd you get into gaming, brother?
Me, I started when my my dad got me. I think the first thing I might have ever played besides pinball machines was Asteroids.
Oh, nice.
And then after that, my dad took me over to my favorite toy store was the Toys R Us in Green Acres Mall. And he took me there and he got me a 2600 Atari, and that was my first system. And the first game I got was boxing on there, and I loved that game, man. And that game was primitive as hell. It was an overhead view of a white and black boxer, and they could only move their arms forward and backwards. So I had boxing, I had racing, I had Jungle Hunt, and that's where I started. So a couple years later, I didn't jump on Nintendo right away when the NES came out in like late 84, 85. I got so I missed Rob the Robot, and then I got NES, and then my brain exploded because I didn't think anything could look better than Atari. So you can imagine like going to Mario Brothers and all that stuff, like and man, like NES was like the thing. Yeah, so it started there, and my dad would take me to arcades and stuff. Like so, almost every movie theater back then in Queens had arcade games in them. So that's mostly where the arcades I hung out. Also, the comic book stores also had arcade games. So you'd find arcade games all over the place. I used to go with my buddies to the pizza place, like on like Utopia Parkway or whatever, and they had a ton of games, and they would always switch them out. Like so, they had the first Street Fighter and bunch of other stuff like eSWAT, the arcade version of eSWAT, and Afterburner that you could sit in.
Did you ever go to the arcade on what is it on the Whitestone Expressway?
The bowling alley, right?
The bowling alley.
Yeah,
not
I've
the
been
bowling alley.
Which
the
one?
actual arcade in Linden Place.
Oh, okay. I knew.
Yeah, I might have been over there because I remember
that was
there
like the only arcade that I knew in Queens.
Yeah, and then there was Peter Pan had been around for years. The one up and that was up in Bay Terrace. That had been there for years since I was a kid, but it's gone now. And that was the first forays. But what was funny was you'd think I would just have naturally gone from NES to Super Nintendo, but when I saw the Sega ads and the Genesis stuff, I jumped ship. I got Genesis and I was so happy. And and that's when rivalries used to be fun. We didn't really want to stab each other in the face. We'd just go to each other's house to play each other's systems. But we'd always shit talk each other. But it was always friendly and face to face.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the funny thing is, like, let's just say if gaming is now the way it was before, like all these guys talking all this shit wouldn't say nothing, man. They'd go up to their friends' houses and play these games. It's fucking bullshit. Anyway, Chris, go on, man.
42nd at Broadway. Shit, that fucking arcade, man.
Yeah, man.
By the way, I love how we're talking about all the old spots in New York where we used to go to play these games, man. I fucking love it.
That was the thing. If you wanted the crazy looking games, you went to the arcade because that was it. They were mostly like rides or the guns, like Terminator and stuff. Remember? It's like, whoa,
Yup. See, back in the day, the arcade games were the PC games of their day. Hip hop, you already know, man.
Yo, I gotta say this, man. One of my favorite arcade games was RoboCop, son. RoboCop, the way they made it, the shooting and everything was crazy. And WrestleFest. I love WrestleFest. Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior was in it. Yeah, and I remember WrestleMania 6 when they fought. Oh, man, son. Crazy.
Narc. Remember Narc throwing needles? People throwing needles at you and shit. That game.
Since we're talking favorite arcade games, I mean, I don't even think I have to say this. Tempest.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, you know that's your favorite.
Star Wars. Gyrus, Galaga, of course.
Galaga's a classic.
Operation Wolf.
Yeah.
Operation Wolf. Wow.
What was that really grotesque game that came out from the same company as Operation Wolf? The people were all in the torture rooms and shit. And
it was the haunted shit.
Oh, what was that called?
I don't remember that name. I don't remember the name.
Wasn't it House of the Dead?
No.
Sega was House of the Dead.
Oh,
I'm gonna find it. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Konami game.
It was by Taito.
Yeah,
Taito bringing it back. Shit.
Yeah. Wasn't it Crypt something?
Crypt Course. What was it? Now you're making me look it up.
I'm looking it up. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, people in the chat room giving out their favorites. What's going on, Sonia? She says Bad Dudes is one of her favorite games. Remember Bad Dudes, man?
Bad Dudes. Yeah.
Gotta save the president.
Yeah, when ninjas kidnapped the president, you just send 2 guys after.
That's it for 2 months. I mean, 2 months ago, you can get them on Switch.
Yeah, Dirty definitely knows what's up.
Bad Dudes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, nice.
Check that out, people. That shit is dope.
Oh, that's one thing. Like, me and my cousin used to have the old Game & Watch games and the old, like...
Oh, yeah, there you go.
But the joint hip-hop guy, that's the arcade perfect right there. I reviewed one of those. Cool. That thing's fucking awesome, man. Oh, yeah, Dirty Deathfield, Chinatown Arcade, man. We know that very well.
Oh, you know? Yeah. With the chicken, play freaking tic-tac-toe. Remember, that was one of my first. Just going in there and playing the chicken.
Our Christmas Eve tradition was always to go to the Chinatown Arcade.
Check it out, y'all.
Hip hop is blessing us with some bad dudes right now. You
got
some
bad dudes going on.
Can't play like that, obviously. But yeah, son.
You know what was another fun game? Remember Renegade? That was another fun game.
Renegade was great. The NES version wasn't so good, but the arcade one was
too hard.
Yeah. All right. Manny, what about you, man?
Well, it's funny. Like my game, how I got into gaming actually has to directly do with Adam. See, because we pretty much grew up together. So. And it's just like when he got the thing, we got I remember around the time when he got the 2600. When I was a kid, I really didn't have that. In fact, when he got the Nintendo, I got the hand-me-down Atari, because I thought at the time I was like, oh man, he's giving me Atari. And then I see what he got. I'm like, shit. But I was, I
gave you that hand-me-down shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? It was still it's what I had, and it's like I loved playing those games. My favorite game actually was Asteroids for the Atari, and also also just going to arcades and stuff like that. Like I talked about the arcade on Linden Place. There was actually 2 over there, on the Whitestone Expressway in Queens. So there was one what was in right next to the Pathmark, and then right across the street there was like I think it was called Adventure or something or other. And that one was as big. It was also a bigger arcade, and it also had like cheaper arcade machines. So you could, if you could figure out how to get across the highway, you could go to that one and play both of them. So it was pretty much that. So Adam got them first. And then there was a point in the 16-bit era when we both had the opposite consoles. So
yeah, I had the Genesis. I went Chris route. I wanted to go with Genesis, and you had Super Nintendo.
I had the Super Nintendo. In fact, I would, when I'd go to visit him, he lived all the way. I lived in Flushing, and he lived in Coney Island back in those days. And I would, pack up my Super Nintendo, get up on the train, take it all the way down to Brooklyn. Yeah, man. So it was a good thing. You know, we also did the, you know, after that it was like we got the 3DO. Both of us got 3DO around the same time.
I
playing
remember
those games.
There's a funny story with that because I remember we were talking on the phone and you called me. He's like, "Guess what I got?" It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you got? And you put the phone to the TV and I heard "Way of the Warrior." It was Rob Zombie playing. I freaked out. I think I jumped on the train and head over to you.
That soundtrack was so dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. That was Naughty Dog too. A lot of people don't remember that.
Dog.
Yep.
Yep. So it was Way of the Warrior for the Lost Files of Sherlock Holmes. Way of the Warrior.
Oh, that was awesome.
Man, the Captain Quasar. I didn't care for Gex, but it was a lot of really good stuff. So it's like it just kept on going and going. And I mean, you know, even to this day, I still have a console or playing some games. Not as much these days because I'm too busy to do it. Anything, but that's pretty much how I started.
Nice. All right. For me, so here's the thing. I grew up in Dominican Republic, right? First 7 years of my life. I didn't know what a video game even was. I had no concepts, anything like that even existed. And then when I was 8 or 9, right, I went to my dad's friend's bodega, right? And I'm just describing it the way my young mind interpreted, right? This big box with buttons, this stick, and a fucking TV with cartoon characters on it. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And my my dad's friend was like, you want to play? I'm like, what do you mean play? Like, I'm not understanding none of this shit. So he gave me some quarters. Like, yo, listen, you put the quarters in there, you start playing. I'm like, okay, you know, the game, fuck you up right now, man. Golden Axe, man. First gaming experience.
Oh yeah.
Yo, and it instantly clicked with me. I didn't have to figure. It wasn't like, what is going on? I'm like, oh, you move the little character around, you hit the attack, you jump on the fucking beast and shit. I lost my mind. You know, I spent the whole afternoon.
Eat your money.
Well, it wasn't my money. It was his fucking money. You know?
It was his bodega, so he probably could collect the money right after.
Yeah, so I went ham on this shit, and then like not long after that, like one of my cousins, he got a Nintendo, so you know we was playing Contra all the time, Mario, Duck Hunt. We go crazy with Duck Hunt. You know, trying to like we want to shoot the fucking dog. You know, like fuck the ducks. I want to shoot this dumbass dog making fun of me. You know, but
the first troll.
Yeah, right. So then after that,
the first troll,
the first video game,
the first troll that gave me that fucking dog, man. And then after that, my mom got me a Game Boy because you know, like it was cheaper than a Nintendo. Just being real, right? So got a Game Boy. I played Tetris all the fucking time. Like, that was my shit. Like, that and Super Mario Land. I know if you guys remember that shit from back in the day. Played that shit like crazy. And then I finally got a Nintendo. But since we were poor, I mostly rented games, you know. I was playing fucking Demon Sword and shit. You know, like Ninja Turtles, the first one, which was fucking me up all the time.
Which was that wasn't the time of Best Buy, though. I mean, not Best Buy, Blockbuster.
This was Blockbuster right
that
down.
Blockbuster was not for you?
Yeah, so that was it. And then after that, I got a Super Nintendo that Christmas when it came out. Yo, that was the first time where I stayed up till midnight. I'm like, no, I got to play this Super Nintendo. I played that fucking Super Mario World all night into the morning. I didn't stop. It was crazy. You know, and then after that, I met Manny, and then, you know, he introduced me to, like, the 3DO and stuff, which, like, because we...
the 3DO.
3DO, son.
3DO, man.
Panasonic 3DO.
You know, because it was because you had the Sega CD, the Sega CD, which was really cool. But when you saw the 3DO graphics, it was insane. You know. Yeah. I also remember you were showing me some RPG on the 3DO. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? You got to take turns. I'm not playing this shit.
Yeah, it was. I think it was called Guardian Forces or something like that.
Oh, Guardian Force, that shit was dope.
Yeah, Guardian Force. That was that was pretty much the only RPG for the 3DO.
That was the only one.
That was a Japanese-made game too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that shit was dope. I love that game because it was like...
Crazy thing about the 3DO is that how cheap it was to develop games for it. In fact, for $1, you could actually develop a game for it because they wanted to get people to make games for the damn thing. So that's why you have all that crazy shit like plumbers don't wear ties and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
it was just $1 to make a game.
That's crazy. And then obviously, you know, the arcades was a big thing because, like, yeah, like video game graphics at home look good, but arcades.
The arcade, so the arcade was PC for real.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Like Mortal Kombat, all the Capcom. I was a huge fighting game fan back in the day. That's all we did.
We used to do was play fighting games, me and Tony.
And then remember the import store, you know, near here?
Oh,
like,
yeah, well, with CPS.
Yeah, CPS, man. For you guys who live in Flushing, that was like the game spot. That's where we used to get imported games from, you know, Japan and shit to play on, PlayStation and Saturn. Mostly Saturn for me, you know. Saturn, that changed my whole life right there, man.
There was three mom and pop game stores that we used to go to in those days. There was CPS Games. There was Games R Us, which changed to Games F Us.
Yeah, Games F Us. Yeah. Games Fuck Us.
Yeah, and then there was another one that was on in Forest Hills. I can't remember the name of that one. But yeah, those are the three video game stores we used to go to. Because also in those days there wasn't any like GameStops or anything like that, or like software, etc. None of those places even existed. So most of like you would just go to a mom and pop game store.
Yeah, man, get all your info from EGM, Game Pro, Game Fan. Remember all those magazines back in the day, man?
Yo, PlayStation Underground was classic, son.
I still have my card, my PlayStation Underground card, and if you were part of the PlayStation Underground, you used to get a certificate that was signed by Andrew House.
Oh shit!
What? Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, they give you, what they do is what you did was like they gave you they gave you a booklet, right? With a bunch of places to put all your memory cards. You had little slots, has like a little place to write.
Still have mine.
And then you gave you a card that said this is your whatever membership for the PlayStation Underground, and then you had a little certificate signed by Andrew House.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, B.
I shared it on Twitter like a few months, like at least last year.
Did you tag Andrew House?
I don't think I did. I didn't.
Yeah, you should have.
Twitter.
Yeah, you should have. By the way, did we ever tell the Andrew House story on here, man? Because that was funny. Like Andrew House, like he became Manny's best friend at last year's E3.
Not last year, yeah, like maybe the year before, right?
Yeah, because we were hanging out with a couple of the Sony guys, right? Gio Corsi and these other guys, and Andrew House shows up, and like you could tell he had a couple in him, you know. So he just goes over to Manny, puts his arm around him, and starts to it was hilarious.
He's telling the story. He's telling the. I don't want to.
I could say it was a story about how women love Kaz Harai and shit. And he did an impersonation of these women. It was hilarious.
He was also actually communicating how this is the stuff that you don't get to hear when you see them doing these public things. But he's actually talking about some really interesting stuff, where being an executive for a worldwide company, especially a Japanese company, is very different, and how he has to specifically present things to the investors. You have to be very polite. You have to do this, and then he's like, yeah, it was interesting hearing that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that was good, because basically, when you address the Japanese, bosses, you're like, I humbly thank you for your time, and then you got to end it with, I humbly thank you for giving me your time. You got to, there's certain protocols and shit you got to do.
Yeah, so it's not only just the job of actually doing the job, but you have to specifically present it in a sort of way to them, which is interesting.
Yeah, I just found it funny. He had his arm around you and shit, like you were his buddy, for 10 years.
That's pretty normal in business, though, isn't it?
Not like that. Think about
it this way. In a boardroom in America, you generally start with, "Gentlemen, thank you for your time today."
No, it's a little more controlled. It's a little bit more.
No. It's definitely more extreme. But I'm saying it seems weird.
Oh, no.
Trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, so, and he'd be like, you also have to even if an investor or somebody has some sort of stupid thing that they have to say to you, you still have to say thank you very much for your your criticism or something like that. So it was an interesting little conversation.
But talking about what you just said, Tony, about the consoles and doing all that. But remember, there was one king that everybody knew was king at the time, but just couldn't afford it, and that was Neo Geo.
Oh yeah.
Nobody we knew owned a Neo Geo.
And that was the thing. It's like I remember going to Toys R Us and seeing that behind the big case. I'm like, I'm never getting that. And if back then, if someone would have told me that in the future Neo Geo was never going to be one of the big consoles, I would be like, bullshit. Look at them. They're the kings right now. They have the
I would have told you that back in the day.
And they control the arcades. And look where it is now. They're nowhere.
Because Neo Geo, did anybody actually own this thing?
No.
Yeah.
I owned the CD. I wouldn't say owned. They loaned it to me for a few months, the Neo Geo CD.
Yeah, I own them. I own that and the AES, the CDZ. Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Galaxy
Andre, I knew you would. I knew you would. You own that shit, man.
I got my shit on a deal though. That was crazy how I got mine. I got the gold edition with there was 525, but instead of getting 2 games, I ended up getting 4 games.
You know what's interesting though with the Neo Geo? It's like everybody talks about how 3DO failed, but it's like, Neo Geo.
Yeah, man, they were on.
That thing was way more than a 3DO.
Like,
dude, that's why I would have told you at the
Yeah,
time.
but if you look at some
Yeah,
of,
no, I hear you, Brett. Like, it was a lot of money
at
back
some of
then,
the-
you know.
if you're a collector and you look at some of the rarest games out there in existence, the Neo Geo has some of like the top 3 rarest games out.
Oh, yeah, because they barely released anything for the.
They're like $5,000. I'm like, what? Yeah,
rarely people bought them. So
yo, so Neo Geo was like $600 and something when it came out back in the 90s, and it had all the hottest fighting games that was like arcade.
Perfect.
Like
They were
arcade
perfect. They were the arcade. They were exactly.
It was literally an arcade board.
Yeah, it was literally an arcade at your house. And Samurai Showdown was like the biggest
man
to the town on that joint. And I was like, I love that. My grandma loved me, but she was like, I love you, but you ain't getting that much love right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real. My grandma was like, this is gonna be one of them systems that you don't get. You can dream about it, you can wish about it, or you can have my job and you go get it. So, you know what I mean? For real, man.
Grandma keeping it real, son. But yeah,
grandma was keeping it real. I was like, because like it's real when the tears don't work. It's like your tears don't work. You over 5 years old now. Shut up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like none of that stuff counted anymore, bro. Real talk, man.
We always just saw it. It was
I never
like
even considered it. You know?
Yeah, it was just like the magnum opus of gaming. Like you knew you had to have some money to have.
Yeah,
one of those
course,
things.
man. To get a Neo Geo, so that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like Torrence could have had one too, but he spent all his money on food. So
yeah, I remember I had
he wasn't able to get his Neo Geo. You know what I'm saying?
Torrence like, man, I was reviewing games while you were dreaming about getting a Neo Geo.
We giving him ammo, son.
No, I don't need that. You were swimming in nuts when I was playing on you. I mean, come on now, let's keep it real.
I remember I had to get the Turbo Graphics.
You weren't even born yet.
I'm sorry, man, but the guy who's
Turbo Graphics was dope.
The guy who has his all beat his on.
Keep courage, baby.
Yeah. Oh,
I remember that.
Box Adventure was my joint. Son.
Remember the links? Remember the links, man? That shit fucked me up. Like, yo, it's like a Game Boy with color. What the fuck is this shit?
Yo, I felt like I was playing cards with the cartridges though, because the cartridges in Nintendo 64 was mad slim like cards, yo. I like them joints, man. You can have like 10 games in your pocket.
You mean the cue card? You know that the Genesis. You know the Genesis also used to have a cue card reader. You could have that for their.
Yeah, only a couple games were compatible with that though.
Yeah,
yeah. But anyway,
the Genesis was a PC to me because they had so many modifications. You had the 32X, you had the Sega CD. There was another thing that they had as well. I forgot what it was.
They had a thing for the Master System. You could play Master System.
Yo, that joint you can modify. You make that joint look like a bird.
That's right.
You know that Master System thing. It really didn't have that much tech in it because officially, every single Genesis model had every single Sega console had the previous generation's processor inside of it. So the Genesis had the Sega Master System already in, and that was the sound chip. And then even all the way up to the Sega Saturn, the Sega Saturn had a Genesis chip inside of it.
Wasn't it a Z80?
Wow.
Yeah, it was a Z80.
So there was not.
We're dropping some knowledge for you motherfuckers out there. Z80. You're like,
yeah, if it wasn't made by Intel, they're not going to care.
Oh, damn. Now y'all better be taking notes on this episode.
Back in the day when console companies actually designed their whole operation systems from scratch, their whole hardware from scratch.
Yo, since y'all mentioned Intel, and Tony, I'm sorry to do this because I know it's kind of like changing the topic.
Man, it's all good, man. Go ahead.
What are your thoughts on Intel joining in the battle between AMD and Nvidia with their own graphics cards launching 2020?
I didn't even know about this shit.
But they already have their own graphics cards.
No, they have not Intel. They launching their own line of GPUs.
They already have that.
Well,
I think
if that's the case, they're doing something different.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is they never offered it on a separate card solution like Nvidia and AMD does.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because they used some of them used to actually
just
be on their
onboard
boards.
motherboard. They sell them to motherboards.
Nah, I'm not talking about the onboard.
No, I'm telling you, dudes, you could buy an Intel graphics card. They've sold those before.
Are you talking about like just like the standard graphics card that comes in pretty much any PC?
Intel HD graphics, man.
Nah. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about a graphics card, like a gaming graphics card to compete against the AMD Radeons and the Nvidia RTXs and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about. Intel is launching their own graphics card line 2020.
They already have their own graphics card line.
All right, you know what? You know what I'm talking
It's the
about.
Intel HD.
That's why your nose look like that. Your nose look like somebody farted on it. Real talk, son. Your nose look like it was designed by a fart.
I thought we were talking about non-negativity. What's all this?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Non-negativity when it's the truth.
What is all this?
Every time, if Torrence ever get a cold, it's over, son. That's it. His life is done, son.
Dude,
what does that
even
mean?
I used to own one of their cards. Let me find it for you. See,
Yo, hip hop, you crazy, son.
Well, if they're doing a new,
real talk, this has been me and Torrence almost literally since day one. Like seriously, because when I first spoke to Torrence through the PlayStation Eye camera and stuff like that, dang, that's crazy, Torrence. Like in 2008. That's when I first spoke to Torrence.
Cray, man.
Through a PlayStation Eye camera. We was talking and stuff like that. It was so funny. Like Torrence was literally the same size then. Like you know what I'm saying? You know how they be like the camera adds weight? Like he broke that joint, son. That joint is real time, son.
And see, I wasn't even gonna tell him how you had to sit up on the stool so I could see him on the camera.
Yo, real talk. Torrence went from an FMV video clip to real-time graphics with his body. Like,
you ever see a midget climb up on a stool? That's what he had to do.
Yo, son.
So his PlayStation camera can get
one time I jumped on Torrence's back and stuff like that.
And I didn't even feel anything.
Oh, you know what? That was wrong. I set myself up. All right, let me
hip hop. Be careful, son.
All right, that was a good one.
Yo, I remember hip hop. You told me the story about how you like met Torrence and you were surprised he was black when you started.
I was surprised he was black because
everybody was.
You know what it is? Because like he was real soft spoken, and like no offense to anybody that's white, but most white people that I deal with, like they voices is much more lighter. Like, you know what I'm saying? They have like softer, lighter voices, whereas like mainly black people got deeper, stronger tone like voices, right?
Yo, Torrence, you say you a bitch, man.
He was like real soft spoken. So then I see him, and I see this big Harry and the Hendersons looking mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo,
wait a minute, dude. Hold on. You're stereotyping white people.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling you the white people.
I don't think white people have soft voices, and black people always talking like, "Hey, motherfucker." No, dude, you got that wrong. That's you.
Nope, you got that wrong. You don't pay attention to the light.
Hey, hip hop. Do I got a soft voice?
Yeah, you got a soft voice, bro.
Damn. Yo, what about Ice, man? He sound black. And he white.
Yo, Ice sounds like a wolf. Like Ice is Geralt. Like, you know what I'm saying? A Rivia. Like that's what Ice is. You know what I mean? But yeah, but anyway, when I first met Torrence, we was talking. What I loved about Torrence was his authenticity. He was mad real. And like because I remember when his boy who was lying about Assassin's Creed and it being like he had took it back to the store to get the Xbox 360 version.
Oh, Anthony Anthony. Yeah,
Candid Anthony. Like, I just love how real Torrence was. Torrence, I wasn't a writer on his site or nothing. Like, we just met, but he actually agreed with me and took my side, which lets me know that he's not one of those dudes. Like, for example, when I was having that battle with Chloe Rad on IGN for her horrible Resident Evil review, when she gave it a 7 out of 10. Her boss, I was talking to him and he didn't agree with her either, but took up for her. So I was like, how you don't agree with her, but then yet like don't say anything. Like you still siding with something you don't agree with, and you openly admitted that. That's not real. You crippling your worker instead of helping them. If you know,
that was her own opinion.
It's things like that. So Torrence has always been a stand-up guy. Always been authentic. That's my brother, man. I love him for life, man. Real talk, man. I appreciate you so much, bro.
And you're my little brother. I love you for life.
You know that. You know that.
Even though you're crazy.
Oh yeah, you know that. You know that.
And
the world needs a little crazy, man.
I just started getting caught up on the chat. So what's up to Ill Watch That?
Yeah, that's Carl, man. What's going on, Carl?
To that's Carl?
Yeah, man.
Red Infamy, Sonya Wins.
Oh, my baby right here with me. What I'm talking about.
Sorry's out there. Oh, she's right there.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Don't talk to her with that voice. Don't do it.
What's going on, Red? You know why they call you Red Infamy?
Yo, you crazy?
You're red and infamous.
See my back.
Oh my god, man! you know what's so funny? It's like you got this Barry White gamer version of a voice. It's crazy, son. I don't know how you do it, but it's dope.
The mashed potatoes.
That's what I want. Yo, hold on. Torrence, man. When you make a sandwich, man, what do you put in it, man?
Depends. I usually do salami.
No. You got to do it with the voice, man. You got to do it with the voice.
First, I put Miracle Whip.
That's not real mayonnaise.
Then I sprinkle some mustard. Then I add 3 to 4 slices of Genoa salami. Then white American cheese. 2 pickle slices. And then I slam it all together.
He has his eyes closed while he's saying this, y'all.
Yo,
I like make this up, dude.
Hey, I gotta, hey.
The Torrence, you should have turned the gain on when you did that. You're like, and then when I did that.
Yo, you know what's so funny? I got a question for y'all.
Yes.
What was the best boot up sequence for a game system?
Sega, man.
PlayStation 1.
Actually, I'd go with the Sega Saturn.
Xbox.
Yeah, Sega Saturn was a good one. Yeah.
Sega Saturn.
Yo, I ain't go front. The original Xbox.
Yeah, that Xbox.
Crazy.
No, the best one was the Sega CD, the original one. When that thing would start, we'd be like,
yeah. PlayStation 1 has the best.
PlayStation 1 is crazy, son. I think PlayStation 1 is the most popular out of all the game systems. I see people use it more. Like for real, like
I'm sticking with Saturn, man. Fuck that.
Sega
Saturn,
the GameCube was pretty dope. You knew you was getting ready to have some fun then. So
yeah, what's going on, Rubenaz, man? That's another old school head, But yeah, but Torrence, I remember this one time you explained to us like what you were cooking for Thanksgiving. I was on the fucking floor. We got some mashed potatoes, collard greens.
Yo, that joint is funny, son.
Hey, Torrence.
Yes.
Do me a favor. Say, in a world.
In a world.
Yo, Torrence, the only person I know that can have Thanksgiving dinner all by herself. Real talk, son. Like the whole joint.
I don't eat like that no more. I can't even eat like that anymore.
I'm glad you don't, man.
I eat like a fucking bird now.
Are you slimming down?
Yeah, man. I've lost the past 2.5 weeks. I lost like 14 pounds. I've been going to the gym.
That's
wow.
It's crazy.
What are you talking about?
Crazy. Just for knowledge, don't use the bird analogies. Birds eat twice their weight.
Oh, okay.
In food. So
wow.
That's an appropriate analogy.
Yeah, you don't want Torrence doing anything related twice his weight.
I eat like a skinny, white girl now.
How about skinny white girl.
It's just like when
yo, when Torrence walk, it's like moving an arcade machine.
oh my god.
Man, your relationship with Torrence is like bipolar and shit.
We've been doing this for ages, man.
Yo, no, listen. It's even funnier when we do it in front of game developers. Like real talk, we would be at events and we just start going at it. And yo, we always stole the show. Everywhere we went, son, we always stole the show.
I guarantee you go to any event with HipHopGamer, you're gonna hear a sonic boom in one of the rooms.
I was sitting right next to Sonic Boom.
That's from him. That's from him. He clap when he claps. It's like when the Hulk claps.
Oh yeah, that's a good story right there. Let's tell it right now because Hip Hop and Manny were at E3 this year for Xbox, and like Manny, you tell the story. This shit is fucking hilarious.
No man, I'm gonna say this. I don't know if you realize this, Hip Hop, but you yourself are an event. I think you do know that. Why you say? Seriously, man, like. We're watching this thing. You were like, "Oh!" It was like it was his own show. You were a show.
He's fucking choking Manny and shit.
Yo, man, what are you choking me?
You know what it is?
Because the games look so good.
Yeah, you know what it is? You have to choke somebody to let them know how you feel about the game. You know, it's like, yo,
that's what Dahmer said too. That's
you know what it is? It's like, in order for you to feel the way I be feeling, I have to take my energy out and put it inside you. Pause. So
he's grabbed me. Pause. My chest and shook me.
No, yeah, Manny. That's what he did to Manny. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
There was this other event I went to with hip hop. Like you were like clawing my arm off. It was fucking hilarious.
I got that, man. I got that too.
Look, it's not on purpose.
It's the energy. It's the energy.
I was gonna be like, man. I'm like, if I was just some random person that just sat in there,
I do it to random people too. Yo, let me tell you, true story. I think it was 2016. I sat next to somebody that I never sat next to before. I never met him. It's like that. And the Final Fantasy VII remake trailer came, and I jumped on him, held his arm, and he was really, really fat, like bigger than Torrence type fat. So I laid on him. You know what I'm saying? Like I rested my head on him because he was so comfortable.
Me too.
Pause. So like I held him. I held him, and I was like, "Yo, son, what is that?" And then afterwards, he wanted to interview me because he said he never seen that energy in his life, like in gaming. So he was so happy to see that because for so long it was gone. So hey, I'm proud of it.
Yeah, that's real right there. No, because I was thinking I
was saying, man, if you were you're next to some hoity-toity like guy from one of those big sites that be like, What is this guy doing?
Imagine hip hop choking Steven Totillo.
Yeah.
Steven Totillo and shit.
One thing I would tell you, like seriously, in terms of the industry,
I really don't appreciate your loud mouth during this press event. I can't concentrate.
Yo, you know what's so funny that you said that, Torrence? Like when I go to do interviews, like when I was in San Francisco, right, to do interviews with Ubisoft, and there was like another interview going on, but we was in the same room to do it. So like before I even got a chance to say it, they said we'll wait for the other interviews over because I know when you do your interviews, it's your interview, because it's like I have an audience, bro, when I do my interviews because it's important. You got to feel everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be in the moment.
When you got
man.
You feel.
Oh, word. The Last Dragon.
There we go.
Yeah, and then Manny was telling me how when they were showing parts of games that you didn't care about, you like, side. Like, you didn't get hyped and shit.
You're like, no, they need that. That's honest.
That reserved, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, to me, Xbox did a hell of a job this year at their E3 press conference. Just the conference itself, the way it flowed was great. And when they showed Jump Force and Cyberpunk and Devil May Cry, when they showed Devil May Cry, it was over for whoever was next to me. It was over. For real.
I got a question for everybody. I want everybody to answer this, at least everybody that's had the experience. What was the first console arcade port that made you realize, yes, this is the generation? I've been waiting for this for a long time. And I'm going to tell you mine. I'm going to tell you mine.
The first console arcade port where we finally knew that like consoles was ready.
Oh, yeah. I got my answer.
Now I could say I could make it easy, and I could say when I first got the Sega Genesis, Altered Beast and Ghouls.
Nah, but the arcade version is still better.
I'm gonna take it even deeper. Strider.
You took mine.
Strider.
You took mine.
The one for Genesis?
Yep. Strider for Genesis.
Yep. You took mine. Yep.
Well, here's one thing that I would say from an arcade port. I'm not sure if y'all remember, but the Super Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat 2, even though the blood wasn't in it, that was the only thing. But that game was incredible. It was better than the Genesis version. It was more closer to the arcade than I've ever seen a Mortal Kombat game. I mean, it was like the only thing that was different, honestly, was the fact that the blood wasn't in it because it was Super Nintendo. But in terms of the sound effects, when Raiden did the Holly Babalay, it was the correct one. Like, you know, it was amazing. The thunder, the way it sounded, the sounds when you fall into the pit. Super Nintendo's Mortal Kombat 2. If you remember that one.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2 had blood. Mortal Kombat 1 was the one was
Mortal Kombat
blood
2.
No. The Genesis one didn't have the blood. You had to put the blood code in.
No, Genesis had the blood.
Yeah,
No,
you're right.
Super Nintendo.
You're right. You are right, Torrance. You had to put the blood into the Genesis one, but the Nintendo one didn't have a blood code.
Yeah, but Mortal Kombat 2 was like almost arcade perfect.
That was
put the code in the Genesis. You know what? I remember bitching about that because this was back in the days before I had the Warzone and I only had 1 or 2 people listen to me. I'm like, how in the fuck are you gonna put an M rating on a game? M rating for fucking adults. Game we already played in the arcade has the blood, and I gotta plug the cartridge in and put a code in to see the blood.
And that was, and the funny thing is that on those on the Genesis, that was before the ratings board, but the Genesis one, Sega had their own ratings board.
Right.
That's right.
So it was, like MA or something like that it said.
Yeah, I think it was the MA, and because I think they were trying to make it like the movie ratings or something like that, or
Something like that.
So it's like, okay, it's an adult game. You got to be an adult to buy it. If you buy in this game, you played it in the arcade. Why do I got to put in a code into the blood? Are you protecting children? The children can't go to fucking EGM and get the code out of there, or you know, it didn't make any fucking sense.
I don't know why people think certain people is stupid. Like, this is our culture. We know everything about it. So what makes you think we're not gonna find out? Like, I just don't. I think, man. Okay. Just, yeah. Next subject.
But actually, we're still going on. You know, consoles that we first played. But to answer your question, first one for me was probably Street Fighter Alpha, the first one on Sega Saturn. That shit was exactly the same.
Yep. Street Fighter Alpha, yeah.
But the one that really fucked me up, and this was import, X-Men versus Street Fighter. Remember you?
Definitely. We on that one. Oh yeah, definitely.
And that shit was exactly like the arcade.
Children of the Atom too.
Yeah,
that
was close. It was missing some animations, but it was close. It was close.
Yeah, that was the Acclaim port they did.
You know how you done. I know you're gonna agree with me. How did you do an animation check with Children of the Atom?
Oh, it's Magneto.
Nope. For me, it was Wolverine standing.
Yeah.
That's also his standing animation. Yeah,
that's
but
how you knew.
Also Cyclops too, because he used to breathe and do all that stuff.
Here's the funny thing:
Wolverine was my guy.
Yeah, during the ending credits, they had their full animations during the ending credits. It was pretty interesting.
Exactly.
Anyway, Brett, get in here, man. What was your first console?
Oh shit, we didn't finish.
Yeah, we didn't finish that, man.
We get sidetracked and we gotta.
This episode 200, man. This shit don't matter, man. This shit don't matter. Anyway, Brett, go on, man.
My first console was an NES. Got it for Christmas when I was 3 years old. Started playing Zelda before I knew, or Legend of Zelda before I knew how to read. Kind of taught myself to read on that game, and pretty much just took off from there. Saved up money, did every chore I could find, raked leaves and shit. Eventually,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm kidding. No. No, I didn't.
Isn't entire child labor laws?
No, I didn't.
3-year-old to work?
Dude, motherfucker, I was out doing like neighborhood yard work and fucking lemonade stand and all kinds of shit. Like I made like $1 from it because I lived in fucking Chicago. And I was like, I ain't buying strange lemonade. But still, like, I'd mow people's lawns, I'd rake leaves. Like, I waited for fall to come. I'd go around and like offer to rake leaves and shit for like $10 a piece, $5 a piece. And I'd save up all that money. And eventually, by the time I was about 7, I managed to get myself a Genesis.
Oh, you were hustling for real.
Oh yeah, by the time I was 10, I managed to get myself Super Nintendo, and pretty much I was buying games pretty regularly, but I had to cannibalize them. I had a whole system. Like, I'd rent a game once, and I could pay $5 for that. And if I wanted to rent a game a second time, like, I figured it was more financially responsible to actually set aside the money and then buy the game, play the game indefinitely, and then sell it when I was done, because I could usually sell the game for about $20 and I could usually pick up a game for about $50. So I would get about a $30 loss. So I'd be like, okay, am I going to play this game for more than 6 weeks? So if the answer was no, then I just fucking throw it in the, it's not worth it. If I was going to play yes the game for more than 6 weeks, then I could rent it, or I could buy it, play it through, and then sell it off for another game for cheaper than I could rent it. But the problem
Be right
was,
back, y'all.
even if I did that $5.
Hey, hold on, Brett. I'm sorry about the Biohazard Studios, brother. You won the contest. Please hit us up, man. All right, Rami. I'm gonna write the shit down. Anyway, Brett, go on, man.
No worries.
Yeah.
I had to make the fucking decision whether or not each week to put $5 in towards renting a game that week, or save up the money to buy a new game. So like, and I had paper route by the time I was 12. I was reffing soccer. No, I had a paper route by the time I was 10. Reffing soccer by the time I was also 11. Like, I was working multiple jobs, and no, it probably wasn't legal. That's how I fed my fucking gaming habit, man. So by the time I
Brett,
so by the
you got
time
me fucked up, man. So you got an NES at 3 years old?
Yeah.
I don't remember shit I got for Christmas when I was 3.
Dude, it was an imprinting moment, like, because I had still, like, man, I had wanted one so bad. I had wanted one so bad because I had seen my neighbor had one, and I hadn't gotten a chance to play with it because he was kind of a dick. But I wanted one so bad. Wow. And opened all my presents. I kind of didn't get one. I was like, all right, that's still cool. And my dad was like, oh, you forgot something. I'm like, I don't think so. And he's like, yeah, it's right. It's right under there, under the coffee table. The coffee table kind of had a thing.
Sounds like Toy Story.
And I kind of went like, you got
Christmas Story.
I went down there, like, opened it up, was like, oh, holy fucking shit! And I spazzed the fuck out. And did this because my dad, he played Atari. Like, he got an Atari when it came out, and he was super competitive. And he and his buddies, like, I used to hear these stories about how they'd be playing like Space Invaders or something like that. They'd get a high score, and they'd call up the other person at like 2 a.m. Somebody would groggily pick up, and they'd shout out a number and slam the phone down. And of course, like, my mom and the other guy's wife, like, they fucking hated it, but they'd be up until like 3 a.m. drinking beers, calling each other and slamming down the phone with high score numbers. And so my dad was already kind of like I guess a proto gamer. He never really followed it much past that. But when he got me my Nintendo, oh man, he played the fuck out of Nintendo games. He stopped playing with me at about Super Nintendo because he said there were too many goddamn buttons at that point. But
that's exactly what my dad said.
Yeah, he was a gamer, or a gamer, and knew that I would kind of enjoy it. So I think his passion for it led to getting me, because 3 years old, like, it's one of those, like, oh, what is the kid like? I don't know. He's fucking 3. He doesn't really have choices yet or tastes, but I got exposed to it, and man, I immediately fell in love with Zelda, and I've had a lifelong love of wandering around aimlessly, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing ever since. So, but by the, because I worked the way that I did, by the time that N64 rolled around and PlayStation 1, like, I had everything. I had every system. I had every fucking game. From, like, dude, I was not fucking around. Like, dude, I worked 3 fucking jobs at 12 years old.
Wow.
Did you go to
12 years old, I was packing bags at Key Food, helping out my grandmoms and stuff like that. Real talk. And like, I ain't gonna front, man. This is what I knew my character was building, because the money I was making, I would give to my grandma. But I was making good money. Yo, I was making between like $40 to $70 a day packing bags. And I wanted to buy every game in the world, but I just gave it over to my grandma. Real talk.
There you go, man.
I feel you. But now, in Jesus' name, I'm up here able to play everything because of my career. So, just gotta be thankful.
Mm-hmm. Gotta do that hustle, man.
Yeah, Brett is like the pimp of this show, man, because he was telling us this story kind of a couple weeks ago, because he was like, you remember back in the day, you used to just buy games all the time. You get a bunch of games a year. I'm like, bro, I would get maybe 2 games a fucking year, but that's because my mom bought me games.
What? Yo, Brett, how many? What?
Because he used to, because he Brett, wasn't it like 1 a month or something?
Oh, at least 2 usually.
Damn.
And
yo, son, yo, real talk, Brett. That's foul that I didn't know you when we was kids, man. So if I knew you when we was kids, yo, you'd have had full protection. Nobody would have bothered you. Not saying anybody did, but nobody bothering you, son. For real, son. Like,
Brett is a scrappy Irish guy. He was
games is
fucking
like
people
having
up.
oodles and noodles and Pop Tarts in jail. So, I never been in jail. I'm just saying. So like you know what I'm saying? You'd have been a man on the block. You'd have been protected. Everything, son.
That'd have been the protection racket.
Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know that I found the name of the game. It was called Chiller.
Chiller, okay.
Oh yeah.
But I was just gonna say, hip hop. Brett was the guy that did need protection. He was fucking all the other dudes up. He used to fight for fun back in the day. Irish motherfuckers, man.
Later. That was still when I was getting fucking Chi-Town throwdowns, and man, there ain't no winning a gang beating. You can get in some good punches, but oh man, when 6 guys come down to beat your ass, you win if one of them walks away going motherfucker.
Oh my god!
In that situation, because then the next time they're coming, there are only 5 guys coming, and you whittle that shit down until it's just one motherfucker, and then you bring it down on that guy like a 10-ton fucking hammer. Anyway,
oh my god!
Throwdown, man. All right,
that would have been a dope soundbite throwdown type of thing. At that moment.
we got to record it, man. You know. Anyway, Brian, why don't you get in here, man? What's your first gaming console?
Well, as you know, I'm a young one, so I was born. So I was born after the Ice Age, unlike these guys.
Damn.
Born after the Ice Age.
Yeah. So
what's a pixel?
My first gaming console that I remember having and remember playing was actually a PS1. Yep, I am that young.
Wow.
Yep. And it's actually a really funny story because those of you that know like why this happens, you know exactly why this happens. So, my sister's boyfriend comes over with his PS1, and he's like, "Hey, Brian, I want to play this of like these games." So I'm going through, and I'm like, "Okay, cool. It's Tekken 2 there, it's Gran Turismo there, and I'm just enjoying the fun of it." And then, for some odd reason, my sister and the boyfriend just disappear and stop playing. I'm like, "Okay, cool." see, back then I didn't know this. I didn't know this. Why? I was like, "Okay, cool. Like more games for me then. Like I'll just play like just Tekken like by myself." So I played like just like on like an hour on end, and then like he left, and then he took it with him. And I'm like, "Hey, like when's he coming back?" And then she's like, "I don't know. Like, do you want him to come back?" I'm like, "Yeah. Tell him like to bring his PlayStation around like next time." And then he did. And then
now he knows that works.
He just keeps going. Like I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Pull the volume up high.
So
you're an awesome for that guy.
It took like 10 years to like truly like understand like why that is. And it's like, okay, cool. And that's why I want to buy a Switch like right now. So just in case. Just in case.
Did it hit you all at once? Like, were you just sitting there eating one day and you're like,
"Here you go, little Jimmy."
Problem with the Switch, though, in that situation, they can just still walk around with them. Like, yo, what are you doing in there? Oh my lord, not again! You just like the other guy.
Yeah, you need to
Got a little bit around? Okay.
you need to tether him to a TV. Brian, I gotta know, did it just hit you all at once, like 10 years later? Like you're eating a sandwich, you look up and you're like, motherfucker.
Yep, it like hit me once because I had the same thought because I was just like trying to like this one girl. I was like, "Okay, cool. You have the little brother around?" And she's like, yeah. I'm like, "Okay." She's like, I should buy like a Nintendo Wii and give it to him. Like, why? Hold on. Yeah, it just came from nowhere. Like just one of those like light bulb moments. Yeah. So Tekken 2 was my first ever game that I ever remember playing. But then I looked back at things, and it turns out I actually had a NES back then, and I had some F1 game and was it Super Mario World 2, I think it was. I don't quite remember. Yeah, so that was technically my first console that I did play, but I don't remember playing it, so I can't claim it.
Yeah, that is a wild ass. I've known Brian for years, never heard this story before. That shit is crazy, man.
All right, 200.
Yeah, throw down 200. That's what it's about, man. And Carlos, what about you, man?
Yo, so I'll make it quick. So
Back in my day.
wow. When I had black and white television. Nah, like so
I had one.
Me too, man. Yeah.
Don't play.
With pliers.
I was just joking. So I was the first person born in the US for my family. And like when my family got here, like it was like me, my my brother, my older brother and sister, my parents, my uncle, my aunt, my 2 cousins. Like we all lived like in the same place pretty much. And I would always watch my cousins and my brother and sister play Super Mario Brothers on the Super Nintendo. So my first quote unquote gaming experience was pretty much torture because it would take forever for me to be able to play a game. I think I was like maybe like 2 or 3 years old back in the day, but I still remember, like I still have like vivid memories of me just watching them play because they spent most of the time playing. And yeah, and then like later on when like I don't know how old I was, but when I got more cognizant of what I was doing, I would play, for example, Super Mario Brothers 3 and 2. I was gonna say Doki Doki Land. I don't know what the actual name was of that game. And yeah, like I used to play like a lot of Super NES games, and then I would move on to the Super Nintendo after that. But yeah, like I find it funny how Brett mentioned like he obviously had jobs and stuff, but man, I only got maybe 1-2 games a year.
Yeah, same. Me too. Like most of the games I played back in those days were rented because my mom wasn't buying me a ton of games. You know,
on the occasion that my mom would get me a game or would get one from the family, it would be like, okay, you better make that game last because these things are
you better love it.
You better shorter.
You better love it and finish it.
Like you first got it. Like.
I remember one of the situations where it's like where I think it was me and Adam or something like that. We finished the game, and I can't remember who it was who said it. Like, wait, I just bought you that game.
Patrick. It was my stepfather.
Patrick.
It was on 3DO, and it was at Texas something. It was a shooter game. It was like a Operation Wolf type, one of those. And yeah, it was only like 6 or 7 levels. I'm like, oh, this is done. But we used to do that before. I remember on the weekends we'd go to the rental store, we'd rent some games, and then we'd just play them through and just try to finish them, like we did with Shadowrun and a few other ones. We just try to bang them out and move on to them.
Yo, you know what would get your ass beat back then if you would say to your mom, "I'm bored of this game." Oh, beat your ass right there. You bored of this shit? I just paid for this $70, man. You know, don't say that to your moms, man.
Dude, I just got a whole lot of not my problem. And I want to clarify for the record, just for all you motherfuckers that are like, dude, you was flush. Like, y'all motherfuckers had Saturdays. I didn't have Saturday. I got up every morning at 5 a.m. to pack newspapers and deliver them before school. Saturday and Sunday, I ref soccer games, and on Sunday, I delivered the Sunday edition of the paper. Motherfucker, I worked 7 days a week.
Yeah, these dudes trying to say you had
that money. Yeah. That money.
That's it, man. Yeah, because people trying to say what they trying to say you rich. Brett wasn't fucking rich. He's not rich now, man. Fuck out of here, man.
He's like, and I did all that barefoot in the snow. Damn it. Go on, Carlos.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
I shoveled that snow, and then I did it. Walk through it uphill both ways to get my goddamn video game.
I still have like Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 3 are like my 2 most memorable games that I played in the NES. But the other one, and you guys, like everyone in the panel hates this game every time we talk about it. But Friday the 13th, like for some reason, just captivated me. Man,
are you talking about Friday the 13th from the Nintendo?
Yeah.
Like, that was just room after room, the same shit, and then every once in a while you would see it.
That's a game. See, even hip hop don't like it. He loves everything, man.
Yeah, you know, if I say I don't like something, it comes with a lot of credibility because I don't. Normally, I love everything.
You know what? You know what the problem with that game actually is? It's not the fact.
It's not fun.
It's not. No. Here's the thing. It needs a little bit more time than what you would think you would need for a Friday the 13th game.
Dude, the music was stupid.
No, like I'm saying you're not listening. What I'm saying, it kind of has these weird RPG aspects where you have to save certain people at certain times or be at certain places, have
go
certain
inside houses and shit, and do like turns and
theoretically, a Friday the 13th game shouldn't be that way. Like you expect that thing from be like some sort of SquareSoft game or some other company would be not a Friday the 13th game, right? And I think that's part of the reason why, you know, it's like, okay, you're expecting this game where you're supposed to be doing all this like crazy stuff. And then literally you're just kind of doing like, oh, I got to get this item. Oh, I got to be here at this time. Oh, I got to make sure I save all the campers. You know, it's like weird stuff like that.
I still remember we were like all the kids in the neighborhood were huddled up in this little ass fucking room in my house, and we were playing Friday the 13th, and fucking Jason shows up out of nowhere. Everyone gets fucking scared, and we fucking die. And I just remember that like that vividly, like till today.
Every room looked the same, and
we
just get bored, and then all of a sudden he would pop up and like, oh, what do I do? Oh, I don't even have a weapon. I'm
there weren't that many puddles there either. So
no puddles, no puddles. There was a lake though. You would take that boring ass boat ride back and forth, Everything looked the same.
But like, I mean, back in the day, I didn't even care.
No man,
like
back in the day,
I love Duck Hunt.
That changed lives.
Duck Hunt was the truth though, man. You know.
But it's barely a game.
Fuck that dog.
It's hunting. Hunting's a real sport. That shit's in the Olympics. No, that's real.
Real.
What's it called? With the ski ball, the shooter.
Same shit. Ski. I don't know.
Ski. Ski. That's the same shit.
What kind of game are you talking about, man?
Just saying, that's in the Olympics. I saw that shit a few months ago.
That shit is funny, man. All right, I want to move on, and this is probably gonna be the last topic because tonight's been fucking awesome. I just want to thank all you guys, man. This has been awesome. This is the shit I wanted.
For your birthday, we do anything, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Oh, happy birthday! Happy birthday to Jagon.
Yeah, right.
Whatever. Today is his birthday.
Dragon the rapper. Congrats, Dragon.
Dragon.
Whoa, what?
Yo, hip hop, remember Jagon, that crazy motherfucker, man?
Yeah, well, he started rapping?
No, I haven't heard him in years. I don't know where he is.
He's talking about Dragon, not Jagon.
Dragon from Rough Riders? Okay.
Yeah. He's living it rough right now.
Never did back then.
Yeah, all right. So I want to finish this off with what are your craziest gaming-related stories? This could be about how you got a game, something that happened to you when you know what I'm saying, like that. Even industry shit, wherever you want to take it, I'll let you take it there. So Torrence, why don't we start with you, man? What's the craziest gaming story you got?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
This has to do with my cousin. We were at E3. I can't remember which E3 it was. And this is always the craziest game-related story because I couldn't believe he did this shit. So we go to E3, and Nintendo likes to do this thing where you walk through their booth and you get all these stamps. You go over to Mario, you get a stamp. Over to Kirby, you get a stamp, and you fill out the booklet, and Nintendo gives you a hat at the end of the whole thing. So my cousin, he went through, he was getting all those stamps, right? He lost his fucking booklet. I don't know how he lost it. Maybe he left it at the hotel or whatever. So he's like, look, I lost my booklet. Can you just give me a hat? I'm with the press. And they said, no, you can't have the hat. You have to get another booklet and do all the stamps again.
Wow.
Now, you also they gave you these little pencils so you could write things down in your booklet or whatever. Perry had a temper. So when this woman... And she wasn't even she was had to be in her 20s, right? And she was just there working the booth. It's not like she worked in Nintendo or anything. She says, no, you can't have a hat. You got to get another booklet and fill out all the stamps in order to get a hat. He got pissed. He started reaching in his bag. He was bitching at her, and he threw the pencil at her, and he started throwing all the shit at her. So and I'm sitting there watching this like, what the fuck are you doing, right? It's like, there's not a lot of black people at E3. You're making a scene, right? This is fucking ridiculous. I'm not going to go through all that shit again. With the press, why can't you just give me a hat? I already saw all those games. I don't want to fucking do it again. This is bullshit. And he's throwing the shit at her. I'm like, yo, dude,
my God.
You need to calm down or we're going to get kicked out of fucking E3. Okay? So that's, to me, that is the craziest. Like, he's throwing stuff at this girl. And if this was today's day and age, we'd be on Twitter. Yeah, those guys from fucking VGT, they harassed me while I was at E3 working in the Nintendo booth, and that would have been the end of it. Luckily, we didn't have social media back then, so I laughed, but I made him stop and walked him away and said, Perry, don't worry about it. It's just a fucking hat. Let's go.
Yo, that's hilarious, son.
Man. Yeah, hip hop. Go ahead, man.
Yo, I got two. I want to share with you.
Was it Warzone episode 22, man? Because that shit is crazy.
Yeah. We're not doing that. All right, look. Y'all so stupid. So listen, let me tell you something, right? Yo, It was my first year at E3, right?
Oh boy.
And I was about to start crying, son, because I lost my voice. And Torrence kept teasing me.
That
son.
was fucking hilarious.
Yo, I'm gonna be like, Torrence, I can't talk. I can't do my interviews tomorrow. Son, he said, yo, go get some tea. I said, I went to get tea. I got some tea. It didn't work. I'm like, yo, my voice still not working. Yeah, I was like, Torrence, I'm sorry you flew me out here. Yeah, I can't do no work. Oh my God, it's over. It was bad. And Torrence is literally laughing his ass off. He ain't provided no comfort, no nothing. It's my first time out here. I don't know nothing. So I was messed up, man.
I was trying to get him to calm down.
And he said, all you gotta do is stop talking. And I said, and I kept talking. He said, all you gotta do is stop talking. So I stopped talking after like an hour or something. I stopped talking, went to sleep, woke up, and like my voice was like much more stronger, and I was able to complete, E3. Because you understand, I really wanted to make him like proud. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want him to think that he bet on the wrong guy, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I had that situation before. But that was one, right? Another one was 2009, where I had a team of people with me. A team of people. I never forget this dude named Hydro that I used to have write for me back in 2009. We had some event, and Quincy Jones was there.
Oh, yeah. That was a party. It was Quincy Jones's party, and it was for was it a music game? It was like a DJ game or something like that.
Something like that. DJ game, maybe. Could have been Def Jam Rap Star. I don't know. Something. But my thing is, Quincy Jones was at the party.
Damn.
Hydro gets drunk and starts falling out a little bit. They're wanting to fight people and everything. Oh, man. And this is right near Quincy Jones, bro. Yo. So I had one of my boys put Hydro in a cab and take him back to the hotel. But like, I was about to punch this dude in the face. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm trying to help him to get out and everything like that, right? We get back to the hotel, and he's talking about how everything is my fault and I ain't real. I said I was gonna do this and do that, and you fake and talking to me. I'm like, I'm the reason yo, son. I think it was my dude, the Solid Proof, that talked some sense to me at that moment. Because you gotta think about it. This is 2009. I wasn't the type of person I am now, fully. Like back then, I still had a high percentage of the hood.
Let me tell my box cutter out. Watch this shit, motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm always hood, but it takes a lot for me to have to, you know what I mean, dig in that bag.
I'm ready.
In 2009, take too much to get that bag out. You know what I'm saying? So, that happened in front of Quincy Jones, man. That was crazy. And then, wait, there was another time. Wait, I'm sorry. This is the 200 episode. We gotta go in. Yo, there's a time where, it was me, Torrence, and what's the name? Torrence. You know the dude. He's I think you called him a metrosexual or something like that because he like Puffy or something like that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You're talking about
oh my God, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
He was mad clean, mad extra clean.
So fresh and so clean every time.
Yeah, so fresh and so clean. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I forgot his name.
From Games on Smash, right?
Games on Smash, yeah.
Oh, what the fuck is his name?
You know what I'm talking about, man.
Who was the? Come on, you're talking. Who was a really tall, thin dude from Games on Smash?
You talking about
he was in a Street Fighter. He loved Street Fighter.
Yeah. Was it Flip?
Light skinned dude.
Flip. Wait, what did you say? Flip.
Flip.
I
forget. Yo,
no, I don't think that.
Whip.
What's the greatest?
Whip. Something like that.
I remember we did that Philly game show.
Yeah, we did a Philly game. So we sit down in the hotel room, right? So I put some popcorn Blip 72.
Blip 75.
Blip 75, yeah. So yo, shout out to Blip. So yo, we sit yo, we sitting in the hotel room, we was talking about something, right? And Blip keep brushing his hair, like he keep combing his hair. I mean, ain't nothing else you can do to it. And he's still combing his hair, right? So I put some popcorn on, right? And I forgot how long I had this
fucked up the whole room. The whole room.
Oh my god! How long I
I'll
had?
never forget that.
Yo, the microwave started steaming, son. And I was like, yo, Torrence, look, what's going on? And Torrence like, we'll take it out the way.
If you've ever been in corporate America and somebody burnt the popcorn in the kitchen, it smells up the whole office.
That and fish.
Imagine that in a tiny hotel room.
Damn.
Yo, I took it out and it was smoking. So it was smoking. He said, hurry up, get it out before the sprinklers come on. And I was like, oh, shoot. Yo, I ran out the room. I ran up and down the hallway. I ran up and down the hallway.
That shit was nasty.
Yo, I can't even talk right now. So hip-hop is killing me.
Yo, I was running up and down the hallway to eliminate the smoke. And we get back in the room, and I still ate some of it. Yo, that joint was hilarious, son. And Blip was still combing his hair. Son, yo, this dude, oh my God. And Torrence, like, you ever saw, like, so Torrence, you ever saw a fat person try to be mean, but they look funny when they try to be mean because their stomach is moving? So it's like, every time Torrence, like, try to talk with authority, his stomach make a face. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, his stomach make faces. Like, so, like, it was hard to take him seriously because I keep looking at his stomach. So I had to look at his face to understand he was real.
It's like looking at a woman's titties, man. What the fuck?
Oh, my God.
Oh. I'm done. I'm done.
Right.
Oh, my teeth?
Yeah. Yo, Andre, what's your craziest story, man?
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know if I got some really crazy ones. I
Why are you gonna let hip hop go first? Now,
I should have let him go last. That's no one's topping that shit.
Yo, that was funny,
No one's
son.
topping that shit.
That was crazy.
It was just an accident.
Oh God, go ahead, man.
I got three little ones, three small ones. First one was, and this is how crazy. This is how me and Torrence met at E3 a long time ago. We were both just starting out. I guess I don't know. It was I think it was E3. I think it was the first time it was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we were at an Activision party.
I can't believe he remembers this because I can't remember.
Because I remember you telling, I was like, dude, why do I remember that? Because we were like, because we were on the
probably because we were the only few brothers.
We were the only two brothers there. That's why we met. That's why we ran up to each other. So basically, when we were in Atlanta, at this was off site. This wasn't at the Georgia Dome. This was somewhere else. And we walked in this party, and there's Bruce Willis there. So you walk into the party, it's like a bunch of people in there.
Bruce Willis party, yeah.
So we go in there. Bruce Willis is in there. You talk to him for a few minutes. You get some drinks. You get some food.
Was it for that game Apocalypse that he was in?
Yeah, Apocalypse. It was exactly for Apocalypse. Exactly what it was for. Wow. So we're going around. I'm walking around. I'm like, man, there ain't no brothers up in this motherfucker, man. What? And I see Torrence. I was like, oh, they go, brother. So we go. Basically, we kind of like gravitated toward each other. It was like, dude, what's up? We introduced each other for like a second, and I don't know who it was. A girl walked by that we knew, that we met. I don't know if it was. I don't know why I want to say Lee Alexander for some reason.
No, it wasn't her. This is way before her.
Way before her.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was. We were talking to a girl that we both knew. We talked to her for a minute, and then the party started picking up. So we just kind of like broke off, and then I don't know what. 8 years ago, I joined the coalition. We're on the coalition podcast, and Torrence is on. He's telling that story, and I was like, "That was you." We were both like, "That was you." Yeah, it was crazy. And the next thing is, so I'm at the next E3. I think it was the same E3. It was the next day. You know how you had to wait in the line at the lobby to get into the show.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting there. Me and about two of my boys with me from Tennessee. We're sitting there waiting to get in. And You know, dudes are walking through, businessmen are walking through trying to get on the store floor, whatever. So dude walks up to us. He goes, "Hey, man, you mind if I stand with you guys?" I'm like, "Okay." I look up. Oh shit, it's Howard Lincoln from Nintendo.
Oh yeah,
from Nintendo. And he was just like, "Oh, dude, let us get by so you can get through." He goes, "No, I'm gonna hang out with you guys." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with you guys." I was like, "Okay." Hey, and I started reaching my back pocket for my notepad because that's what we had back then. Reached in my notepad. I was like, "Hey, you mind if I get an interview?" "No, man, that's cool." So we sat there and talked to him for like 30 minutes before the show started.
You know who else was cool like that? Tom Kalinske from Sega.
Hell yeah!
You could walk up to him and have a conversation.
Tom was dope.
He didn't care. He was
Tom
really
was dope.
cool.
Tom was dope. The presidents of those companies back then were just
they
were for the people, man. They were for the people, dude. It was crazy.
I feel like, I mean, especially since there's not so much, you know, especially with like so many people that are into it now and the social networking thing. There's definitely a big line between the people that create these things or work for these companies and the actual people that do them. You know, like the only one that I kind of think of was like, you know, Larry from Xbox. He seemed like one of the guys that just wanted to go out there and be like, "Hey, you know, I'm gonna be here at a Terminal 5. You know, want to hang out?"
They didn't pay him early on. That was just him doing that work. He was being paid to do some other work. That whole podcast, that was his side piece. That's just something he liked to do.
And the third one was the last one. Remember how at E3 you could go, and on the third day you could like hang around like right before they get ready to close stuff. So they would like, they don't want to take all this stuff home. Sometimes they'll just give you stuff.
Boy. Yes.
And they'll just give you stuff. So one day they were closed. I think they closed at 6. We were there about 5. We wanted to go by Sega before the last day. We were like, we want to go by Sega, hang out, play some Dreamcast stuff. Because I just got my Dreamcast from Japan, so I've been playing some stuff. So we go to the kiosk, and there's Soul Calibur playing. So we're playing, and me and my boy was playing. And he was like, "Dude, man, I think," because he was a big Steven Spielberg and George Lucas fan. He said, "Man, they just walked through the building." I was like,
That's funny you say that.
Yeah,
because that's the same year I saw George Lucas walking with an entourage from like South Hall to West Hall.
Yep, that's
like,
it.
Holy
that's
shit,
it.
there's George
That's
Lucas.
it. That's it. The same day. Yep,
I remember that.
That's it.
Crazy.
So my boy was like, "I'm gonna go try to find him." I was like, "Go ahead, man." All right. So, and I was playing him. I was like, "All right." He was losing. I was pretty good. So I was like, "Oh, whatever." So the other dude came up and started playing. I'm like, "All right." So we started playing Soul Calibur. I was like, "Oh man, hey man, you're pretty good." Okay, yeah, man. We played a couple of matches. And then he's like, "Oh man, that was cool." I looked up, it was fucking Wesley Snipes.
Dude, I swear to God. Now, there was a year at E3 when Wesley Snipes was there with Fab Five Freddy.
Yep.
At Sega's booth.
Yep. That's the one. They were playing Stage Channel 5.
I was there when all that happened because I'm like, oh shit, this Fab Five Freddy and Wesley Snipes. And then at another show, I think it was the year after that, I passed Wesley in that hallway going from south to west. And I said, "Yo, what's up?" And shook his hand. He was really cool. Wesley's a big time gamer. I mean, this dude goes to E3.
Yeah, he's dope, man. He was
crazy.
Cool. I was sat there and talked about martial arts and games for a minute, man. And then but they were there. They were Fab Five. I think they were there playing because they were Sega was trying to get some input on Space Channel 5. I think.
Yep, I remember that. I remember both of them standing in that booth. I remember.
Yep.
And everybody was watching that game. I was like, "Oh shit!"
And man, that's when E3 was so dope back then, man. God, it was lit. So dope.
The thing about Wesley, man, like he is into a lot of, like, you wouldn't think he'd be in all this stuff, but like he's like huge into kung fu and stuff. Like him playing a fighting game makes perfect sense to me, to be honest. You know,
well, yo,
it'd be dope if they had Blade as a special character in like Soul Calibur.
Oh no, he's not Blade. He's kind of Blade-ish.
I'm just saying, like,
was this dude Raven or whatever his name is?
You talking about Sticky Fingers when he played Blade?
Oh God, I remember that shit.
No, it was in Soul Calibur. In Soul Calibur, they had a guy that looked like Blade, but it wasn't Blade though.
Oh no, it wasn't Blade. No.
I think his name was Raven or some shit.
Yeah,
that's Tekken.
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive.
Oh,
yeah, Dead or Alive. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man, that was some good times back then, man. E3 was just dope.
Yeah, all right. For me, you know, since you guys gave multiple ones, I'll do one, a couple too. One of them is from like pre-journalist days, right? Like I remember because you know we were talking about how like you know when I was growing up, I didn't have money for consoles. First console I ever owned, my own money, was the Sega Dreamcast. I remember that summer saving up the whole fucking summer, saving my money, and I already had the shit paid off like a month beforehand. And that year was my first year of college, right? I had started, and yo, 99.99. You remember that day? I'm like, no, fuck that. I ain't going to school today. I went to
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, man. So I picked up the system, you know, and Manny, I think you came home a little early, so you know we were kind of doing a back and forth because we both got the system. So we were playing at my house for a little bit and went back to your crib. We were playing over there and just being blown away by these fucking games, man. I remember I picked up Soul Calibur just on the humbug. I'm like, I need a fighting game, whatever. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking nuts. Look at this shit. And that game actually
looks better than the arcade.
It looked better than the arcade. Blew my fucking mind away, man. And again, it wasn't even, I wasn't like, okay, Sonic Adventure, I was hyped. And a couple other games I was hyped for. I was not hyped for Soul Calibur. I was like, I need a fighting game. Blew my fucking mind, man. But
Dreamcast was amazing, man. They had an incredible lineup, man.
I love
NFL 2K, NBA 2K, Jet Set Radio, Power Stone,
Ready to Rumble, man.
Ready to Rumble, Sonic Adventure, Soul Calibur. That's 7 games right there. Just named that was launched, yo. That's crazy.
I still maintain that had the best launch lineup ever.
Yeah, that had the best launch in history, period. Hands down.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Hands down.
Now
they had every genre covered.
Yeah. Remember. Now this story, I'm surprised. I don't think I've told Torrence this, which is kind of surprising, right? So this was 2014. PAX East, right? I was working for DualShock at the time. We got invited. I forgot what party it was, but hip hop was there too. It was like NVIDIA or AMD, one of those fucking parties, right? So we're there, and they had an open bar upstairs, right? So I'm like, oh shit. Now here's the thing, you know, you guys got to know about me. When I go to E3, Los Angeles, I purposely do not drink that much. I'm like, I'm in LA. I'm not trying to get fucking drunk out here. I don't know what could happen. This is Boston. I'm like, if anything happens, I could just go home. 6 hours, whatever, you know? So I'm going fucking crazy drinking Jack and Coke. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to drink something, let me just stick to one drink so I don't get too fucked up, right? And I remember, this is when I was still conscious. I remember HipHopGamer was there arguing with George Jimenez. George lost his voice. Man, he's arguing with hip-hop about some dumb shit. It was fucking hilarious.
And my TV.
You know, so a lot of what I'm going to tell you right now is, like, I was told afterwards, right? Because when I came to, I was in a bathroom. I didn't know what bathroom it was. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where the fuck am I? You know, like I'm just in some random bathroom and shit. And I'm looking, I'm like, I think I'm in a hotel bathroom. Oh, I must be back in my hotel. So I'm looking for my phone. I'm like, oh, shit. I lost my fucking phone, man. Fuck, I must have lost it in the cab or something, right? So I'm like, shit. I'm like, I'm too drunk to worry about this right now. Go back upstairs, get some sleep and shit. Wake up the next day, right? And I was sharing the room. It was me, my friend Ryan, George was there, Diana was there. And I wake up, and then Diana wakes up, and she looks at me like, Tony, what's wrong? Because I had the worried look on my face. And I'm like, yo, I lost my cell phone. She's like, oh, shit, okay. We're going to call the cab company. We're going to find your phone. Ryan wakes up, right? He was with me. And he was like, Tony, what's up? I'm like, dude, I lost my phone last night. He's like, no, you didn't lose your phone. You left that shit charging on top of your Chromebook. I'm like, where the fuck is my Chromebook? You left all that shit right there before you went to the bathroom downstairs, man. Like, I don't remember this shit.
What?
Yeah, because the bathroom in our room was like mad small. You know, by the way, in case you don't know, I'm in a wheelchair, right? So I couldn't fit into shit. So I had to use like the public bathroom. So I went downstairs. On that. But I had no idea, yo. So this is what happened at the party, right? And I had to be told this afterwards, right? Apparently, I was hitting on a developer's wife and shit.
Oh, man. No.
Like, but she was being flirty too, right? And then the developer shows up. It was the music director of like Wolfenstein. Remember that the game Wolfenstein, the remake?
Oh wow!
So this dude finds out like I've been hitting on his wife, and he was like, okay, you know, she's fine. I understand. You know.
Oh, but at least he was cool about it.
Yeah, and that also explained because I had a bunch of notes in my phone. I'm like, what's all these questions about Wolfenstein? Apparently, I'm interviewing this guy. I'm drunk out of my fucking mind, and I'm taking notes and shit to write it later, you know? And then afterwards, apparently, we go downstairs, you know, waiting for a cab. Because this is Boston. You got to, like, leave the establishment at, like, 10 or something, right? And
yeah, apparently, it's mad whack, yo.
Yeah, so apparently, I was hitting on every fucking woman that passed by me. all of them. You know, hey, mommy, how you doing? You got some nice legs.
Hey, show me them titties. Show me them titties.
Apparently, I was going ham, and then because I'm like apparently drunk. I remember I'm like, yo, Ryan, did you like have to help me into that cab? He's like, nah, man, you did that shit yourself. I'm like, I don't remember any of this shit, man. By the way, I got a bunch of drunk stories in general where I do a bunch of shit. I don't remember the next day. I'm like, I did that. Apparently, like, even last week, I went drinking with Jeffrey. I got home from the city. I'm like, how the fuck did I get home?
Here's the thing, man. Like, you may have that lapse in memory, but I have to say, like, you and Chris have this uncanny ability to be coherent and structured while you're drunk, both of you.
Wow.
It's like you couldn't.
So they work better when they drunk.
You couldn't tell if you if anything. It seems like they're just a little bit loose, but in general, you could have a full conversation with Tony. It'll just be fine. All of a sudden, they'll be like he'll come back and it'll be like, yo, where is this?
Yeah, usually after
that's the other part. That's the other layer.
Yeah, exactly. Usually after I take a piss, that's when the drunkenness goes. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
I stopped getting drunk at E3 events because when we were in Atlanta at Sony's party, and I got fucking wasted to all shit, blacked out, couldn't remember shit, and then my cousin, I think it was my friend, told me that I was yelling at these two PR women from Virgin for not sending us any games. I don't even fucking remember.
Oh, man.
Wow.
You don't send us any fucking games. How come you don't send us any review games? I don't know what the fuck it is, but they said I was yelling at these two women from Virgin for not sending us any review copies.
I'm so thankful I'm a happy drunk. I've never gotten like, oh, Tony, you were pissing me off. Like, I'm like, I may hug you too much. That's about. And I got one more story. This is fun. This is from my first E3 with Torrence and Manny, right? So we go to this random ass party. I forgot, it was in the Lux Hotel, right? And fucking Dwayne Wayne was in this shit.
Oh, you know? Yeah. Oh. Dwayne Wayne, what's his face? Hatterson from
Kadeem Hardison.
Different World.
Different World. Yeah, Kadeem Harris. And he had just done was it Beyond Two Souls?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So we go to this party and I forgot what fucking game was it they were showing off.
Playing Yaiba.
Oh, that's right, Yaiba.
I was playing Yaiba.
Yeah, the Ninja Gaiden game, right?
Ninja Gaiden Yaiba.
So you had go ahead.
They had the e-cigarettes.
Yeah, that's right. But I remember this is one Japanese developer looking out of place amongst these crazy other people, you know? And then I remember the next day, me and Manny were walking around E3, and we see, Kadeem, like, on a line. Like, what are you waiting for? He's like, yo, they're giving out free graphics cards. Like, man, Wayne don't wait for on no fucking line for a graphics card, man.
He's standing on a line like everybody. I'm like, Dwayne Wayne is waiting on a line for a graphics card? They should have just gave me that shit.
Yeah, we're like, you should have given it to you, bro. What the fuck? He's like, hey, I got to stay in the line like everybody, man.
That's not the first time I saw him at E3 either. He was at the... Not Women in Games. Was it Blacks in Gaming? What was it? Maybe it was Women in Gaming. That party they used to have every year, and I think it was for Women in Games, and he was there. So he's kind of in the industry too.
Yo, Kadeem is my dude. He's there all the time, yo. Like, that's my man, for real.
He's
like,
cool.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude, man.
Yeah, I remember Kadeem and William Pitts. That's my dude too. Yeah, they good peoples, man. Real talk.
I remember because Beyond Two Souls, I think it hadn't been released yet, but I'm like, yo, man, what is up with that company? They literally have you wearing a Bill Cosby sweater in every scene.
Oh wow!
I'm like, dude, this is like. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I don't have control of what they put me in.
That's funny, man.
Man, I also remember.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Like, I don't drink. I never drank before, like, a day in my life. I don't smoke. I don't do none of that. Never did, right? Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, and this is like, especially for the chat, a lot of people that y'all think is a certain way is not who you think they are, especially when they get a few in them. I'll tell you. So I just want to throw it out there. The people that you think is the most innocent, nicest, smartest, whatever people in the industry, they get a lot of spotlight, whatever. Wait till you get a few in them, and they become a whole different person. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know they. Yo, I'm telling you. So I just want to throw it out there. Looks can be deceiving. Looks are deceiving. And like I know on all the sides now, yo, it's crazy.
Are you trying to say that Jeff Keighley is an angry drunk? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm
yo,
kidding.
shout out to Jeff,
kidding.
man.
I'm kidding.
Excuse me.
But wouldn't it be amazing if he was just this crazy angry drunk? Like, you know, like he goes out there, he's like, "Hey guys, welcome to blah blah. I'm gonna host this show for you," and all of a sudden he's like, in the background's like, "These motherfucking kids
smacking people around."
Throwing people on the wall.
Nothing will surprise me. Nothing surprises
Hey Tony,
me.
remember that party at PSX?
Yo, I don't know if we could say that on there, but that shit was
on there.
but
it was a couple of execs that got a little too toasty, and they had to be escorted out.
Yo, I'm just gonna say this: at the end of the night, me and Andre had a babysit, son. This shit was fucking. Yo, if I say that's my craziest fucking story ever, but I can't.
That's the craziest one. That's one of the big ones. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'll tell you guys off. I cannot say this shit, Andre. You already know, man.
I know.
I'm just gonna say that one dude. He, like you said, he was on one. I was ready to smack this motherfucker. You know who I'm talking about.
It was a couple of people on one. It was a couple of people on one that night. It was it was a couple of them. I'm just like, really? Okay.
Yo, by the way, okay, I've known
it's crazy.
Yeah, I've known. Yo, by the way, I've known Andre for fucking years since I've been in this industry. Right? I finally met him like last year at PSX, and we hung out like every night. So I was good. We made the most out of that, you know.
Man, it was dope. It was so dope.
Yeah, we got stories, man. Fuck.
There's some stories. It's E3, man. I mean, I know Torrence, but me and Torrence have talked about a few. Man, there's some people out there that you really don't know them until you really get them in that environment.
Yeah,
you really don't get to know people until you get them in that environment, and you get to see people for who they really are. It's like, I've seen some people grow too. I've seen some people that has bogarted me in interviews and stuff. I'm like, dude, I was here first, and they turned out to be pretty cool at the end. But yeah, there was some real asshole-ish moments out there. Yeah, that was some. But there's some good people out there. But there's some people when they get drunk, boy, that's a motherfucker.
Yeah, when they get drunk or when they get around certain people.
Yeah. Oh, I could talk about that. When they when they talk to you one-on-one, it's one thing. When they get into a group, it's a whole other thing. I'm like, yo, you being fake as fuck right now, man.
I've noticed that. So one thing I can say is that I'm very, very thankful once again to Torrence, because like one of the reasons why I stayed independent and kept my Damon Dash energy, you know what I'm saying? Was because of it was a couple of things, but one of those things was Torrence, and also me understanding as I got more mature within the industry and started seeing certain things. I started understanding that what I thought I needed, I really didn't need, and what I actually needed, I already had, and I just didn't tap into it properly. And once I started to do that, I realized how things started to change, and the blessings started to come even more, in my favor. So this is just like words of encouragement for everyone. Like, you're here for a reason, and you already got what you need simply because you got life. Like, you're here for a reason. You already got what you need. You just got to tap into it to understand the value in it. And then everybody else will be able to see it too. But you got to be the one to show them. And when you do that, you'll be surprised at how powerful you can become and the abilities that you actually have to be great. So I just want to take time out and say that, because I'm very happy that I am who I am, and it's got me so far. So Torrence, I thank you. Rest in peace to my grandma that played a role in it. Like, there's a lot of things that played a role in it, but I'm telling y'all, everything that y'all see there's always a behind the scenes to everything. Do not take anything for just face value. Right. Find out for yourself. You'll be surprised at what the truth is.
Yeah, man, that's some real shit, man. Manny, any crazy gaming related stories?
I don't know. I mean, like, come again. Let's say y'all went first, so all the good
why
stories.
Did you guys go first?
Yeah,
we should have saved y'all for last. Yeah, we should have saved us for last.
First, but I can't say that I can't say that I actually, you know what? It's not really a gaming story, but it's a bit of a journey. So, okay, obviously, if you guys pay attention to me, you might know that I'm a pretty big Metal Gear fan, right?
Absolutely, you the man.
Yeah. So years ago, around I don't want to say I can't remember when Peace Walker came out, right? I can't. It's like 2009 or something like that, or something. Anyway, I went to one of those those signings. Hideo Kojima and Yoji Shinkawa were going to be in New York City signing at Uniqlo. Now, the only reason why I was there, I was really not there for the signature. I actually drew something for Kojima. It was a picture of Big Boss on on paper. I did some really nice ink stuff and all that kind of stuff. And all I was there to do was just sit on the line and then just give it to him and be on my way, because I didn't have anything to do. I can't remember what I was doing. It was like a weekend or something. So I was like, yeah, all right. So I waited on the line, and then as soon as I get to the door, they're like, line closed, can't go in. So I'm like, oh man, I can't get in. So I was like, all right. So I held on to the image for years. Come 2014. So this is, I think it's 2014 or 2013 was the first year we went, right?
Yeah, 13, yeah.
So then 14 comes 2014. I figured I'd bring the image with me. I was like, you know what? If I run it to him, I could give it to him or something like that. And yeah, so if it happens, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm walking around, and then finally at the last day at E3, I saw, I think Chris was there at the time, and he's like, yo, Kojima's at this thing, with Greg Miller. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll go over there watching. You can't hear anything, obviously, because they have all this soundproof glass or anything. So then after the thing's over, they just, everybody's waiting out in the front, kind of like waiting for him to come out. And I'm like, yeah, man, they ain't going to take him through the front through all these people. So I figure out, okay, they're probably going to go out through the back. So I, eventually I waited long enough, and then him and all his entourage come out through the back, and I got to meet him. I got to give him the drawing that I wanted to give him for a few years ago, and I also got a little picture with him, and that was my thing. So yeah, that's about it.
That's a good ass story, man.
It's dedication.
Yeah,
but
man.
The thing is, I always feel about when it comes to the people that create the things that you enjoy, it's like I always feel like they're already giving you something. They're already giving you a part of themselves. They're giving you their time. They're giving you everything, and it's all in this thing. I wanted to give something back, and that's the whole reason why I did it.
Didn't you give him $60 for the game?
Yeah, I already gave him $60 a game. But it's like, for years of enjoyment, I've been playing Metal Gear games since I was on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Obviously then I didn't know that he didn't make the Nintendo version. But
when did you give the other one to Greg Miller? The one
that was actually the same. That was actually the same thing. So it had been years since I had that image sitting. We used to sit. I do comic adventures. I used to sit inside of my thing. One time I got an idea. I'm like, hey, maybe I'll make some prints. So what I did was I had a bunch of old prints that I had made of the same image, but it's all colored. So what I did was I brought those with me to E3, and I just gave them out to folks that I knew that were Metal Gear fans. And I got to meet, just from the passing, I saw Greg Miller, and this is like on the cusp after he had been, he had been in remission from cancer and all that other stuff. So I was like, I gave it to him, and then, I didn't know, I watched the show or whatever, but all of a sudden the dude gives me a hug for no reason. Yeah, I mean, not real reason, but I just gave him this image, and he's like, "Oh man, thank you so much." And right now it even still sits in their kind of funny little room that they have where they film it. I also gave one to what's his face, Victor Lucas, Electric Priest.
Oh, my dude Vic.
Yeah, that's a good dude, man.
That's my dude.
Yeah,
Vic's a really nice guy. Like I seem to run into him every single year.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man, and he remembers you too. That's the thing.
Yeah, he remembers me, which is really nice. And actually, not a while ago, I sent him some other stuff. So I just kind of gave it to people that I kind of gave them to folks that I knew that would enjoy it. So yeah.
Yeah, by the way, Manny, that's actually not your craziest gaming related story. You got to tell this one, man, because I don't think Torrance knows this one, man. This shit is crazy. When Epic Games sends you to cease and desist and shit.
Oh,
oh yeah, I know that story. Yeah.
Oh, see, you know, officially, this also involves.
Oh, that's yours, Adam. Yeah, okay.
Well, he can just
Actually, so you know what? Let Adam tell the story then.
No. I'll tell it.
Okay. And he's like, "Fuck that! It's my story."
Because
he's a big part of it.
Yeah, but this is okay. So this was maybe 2007, and I had at the time I had just doing freelance and stuff. I was totally out of money. I didn't have enough to buy anybody any Christmas gifts or anything like that. So I got the idea that I could make people gifts. So I got somebody I drew something for one of my cousins, which was like a rollerblader, like grinding on something. For another cousin, I did something else Gears of War related, and then for Adam, I went to this place called Kid Robot. Back in the day, they used to sell these things called monies, which are like customizable figures. So I was like, okay, this is at the time that Gears of War was like a big thing. So what I did was I essentially molded this figure to look like Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War, and then I gave it to him for Christmas. I did everything. I painted the whole figure up. I molded armor for it. I made the box. I themed the box to look like Gears of War. Put the designs on it and everything. So as I remember, like, when I presented it to Adam, he thought it was a real thing. Like it was a. Oh, let's see.
You guys can see it. The camera.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is it on the camera?
Shit,
yeah, there it is.
I still have it. See?
Yep, that's it. So all done up. So what I did is at the time, what I did is I kept an a record of the whole process. So so all that stuff. So I posted after Christmas is over. I decided, my friend Chris Beaumont and I decided, hey, well, let's put up the thing and show the process and everything online. And then it started going all over the place. Everybody's like, oh my God, as it got onto Kotaku, got into all these different sites, which is really cool. Then, not long after that, I received the cease and desist letter from I think Harriman and Associates, saying that I had infringed on the Gears of War copyright and all this stuff. So essentially, the thing that I did was supposedly, they thought it was a real product that I was creating, and I was infringing on their copyright.
Yeah, and selling it.
Which I explicitly on the site, I said, there's only one version. This is the only one. And obviously I would get emails saying, oh, can you make more? I'm like, no. I work in the industry. I know how this shit goes. We just leave this alone. There's only one. Because I worked in animation at the time, and I didn't want to screw myself over or anything like that. So anyway, I get the cease and desist letter, and I'm like talking to my friend Chris, and I'm like, he's like, we should just send this to the guys at Kotaku. We should just send the whole letter to them and just post it on the site.
I want to jump in quickly. This was back when Kotaku was really about the gamers.
Yeah, so they did a write-up on it, and it just exploded. Like, Epic Games goes after a fan who makes things for toys for his friends and stuff like that. And here's the other crazy thing: I wasn't the only one getting cease and desist letters from their lawyers at the time. There were also people, because Gears of War at the time was the biggest thing that Epic, that was huge. Unreal was that was a thing for them, but Epic, that Gears of War was like their biggest franchise. So they had people I had a guy send me an email saying, hey man, I just got a cease and desist letter too. I'm making my own the machine gun. He's making that, and he's like they sent me one. And then there was another guy who was painting a Gears of War mural on his ceiling, and they sent him one too.
What the fuck?
So after all this hubbub happens, then eventually, it obviously created a whole bunch of bad press toward Epic Games, and then I got an official apology from Epic Games, which was from a public apology, as well as a personal apology from the vice president of Epic Games for that. So yeah, that's my big one.
That kind of happened to us too, way back in the days when we were VGT.com. We did a Ready to Rumble review, and Michael Buffer's lawyers sent us a cease and desist for having the phrase "Ready to Rumble." In our
yeah, because Michael Buffer owns the rights to Let's Get Ready the line. Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
Yep, and we put that in our review. Wow. Let's Get Ready to Rumble, and they found it doing Google or Yahoo search, whatever they used back then, and he sent us a fucking letter. I laughed my ass off. I said, "Fuck you! I ain't just see some shit."
But yeah, like
yo, check it out.
Is there other portion of the?
Hold on, hip hop. What's up? Hold on, Manny. What's up? Hip hop. What happened?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do gotta run, y'all.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Gotta run.
All right, man.
I love y'all. Real talk, man. This was great.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Seriously, man. 200 episodes, B. Much love and thanks for having me. Thanks for having Torrence. You know what I'm saying? Bringing that old energy war zone back. You know what I'm saying? Like that was crazy. So yo, I'm proud of y'all. Can't wait to see more. And you know, I'm always here. Real talk. I always got y'all back. So I'll talk to y'all soon. One love and God bless. And just stay tuned. You already know I'm always doing everything, so just follow me. You know what I'm saying? We having a good time. And I look forward to reading your review on Spider-Man. Tony, I can't wait to check that out.
It's already been up
right now, man.
It's been up.
Nah, I know it's up. I said I look forward to reading it. I know it's up.
Hip hop before
this dude got the platinum trophy before the fucking game even came out. My man's got the platinum trophy.
Holla at your boy. Holla at your
boy. That's gangster. That's what I'm talking about. That's gangster.
He said it was better than
What's
Michael
up,
Jackson.
Before you leave, the game you were talking about earlier, where you played the whole thing without dying.
Yeah.
Well, what was the game?
Mario Brothers.
What cheat codes did you use? Because you know you had.
Yo, that was the joke. I wanted to say that. I wanted to say to him, like, yo, hip hop, you beat that shit without cheating, man.
No cheat codes on that one. I was like, yo, real talk. Some Mario Brothers made me a zombie, bro. Like I didn't want to do nothing. I got in trouble because I wasn't doing good in school because I was really like gaming hard. And once my report card came in, things wasn't too good at the crib, so I had to you know, I don't like getting my ass whipped, literally. So this gaming made me do good in school because when they took it away, I needed it back, so I do good in school. Yeah, so the lesson is back in those days, you get your ass whipped and you just got to deal with it. See, nowadays kids be like, "Oh, I'm calling on you," and I'm telling you. Nah, back then you get popped, you ate that joint.
That's it.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Look, love y'all, man.
All right, peace out, man.
Yeah, take care. Take out the booster seat though. Red Infamy can use it.
Oh shit.
So alternate also to the Gears of War story, whereas like Adam, you know, back in those days, Adam was well into like the Xbox community. Like I think he sent it to Cliff Blazinski, the picture.
Yeah, I got that, and I told it was because I had the Gears of War tattoo, and it posted on a Gears site, and then he made a comment, and I said, I'm also the guy who has the same toy thing, and he's like, oh, okay, cool, and I actually had his gamer tag, and we played some Gears for Gears 2 during that time.
Yeah, so it was an interesting sort of situation because it's like, you know, one thing you don't think about whenever people are doing kind of fan works is like, you know, back in those days, they didn't really kind of tap the fan community. People would just be doing things they enjoy, and now, you know, and posting them online, but really they didn't do it a lot. And that was the first occasion that essentially the lawyers started going after fans of the game.
I heard that George Lucas was known for doing that shit too.
Probably some of the Star Wars stuff. Because I mean, obviously, when it comes to like, you know, properties and stuff like that, you know, they want to make sure that whenever you go out there, the first thing you see is their stuff and it's not your stuff.
Yeah, Torrence, what happened?
I know that George Lucas was a huge proponent of Star Wars fan-made films, Star Wars fan films. He was so big about Star Wars fan films that he created a site just for Star Wars fan films called.
Speaking of that, a friend of ours used to do those. My friend Jamal. Me and Adam.
It was the force.net, and they used to have a whole section with Star Wars fan films. I used to go check out all the new fan films all the time because these dudes did some dope fucking shit.
That's where Troopers came from.
Yeah, man.
What was the story with the kid with cancer? Remember that? And I remember there was a big controversy, and then eventually they let him do it. The kid that was trying to get to Skywalker Ranch or something.
No,
and
that's a movie, man.
Wasn't there a true story with that?
No, that was a movie. It was called it wasn't Fanboys. What was it called?
Yeah,
but yeah, it was a comedy.
It wasn't Fanboys.
Yeah, I think it was Fanboys. It's like they get to Vegas, and that's when they ran into the Star Trek convention there and all that stuff, and then they finally get to Skywalker Ranch. And then he sees the movie, and the guy's like, "Oh, how was it? This was your live stream, man." He's like, "Oh, it was terrible."
Damn, damn, that's crazy. But Chris, what gaming stories do you have?
I don't have stories like you guys. Like, you guys have crazy stuff. I mean, I don't know, and
you can't say you can't say anything about Nintendo, right?
Oh, they have crazy. Rockstar would throw crazy parties. I remember there was a contest, like they rented out a bowling alley and they took the whole company there, and the houses were on stage, and you had to eat this like nasty cheese ball. Like these people, they would pick people, and if you couldn't eat it, they would shave your head. It was like WWE.
Shit.
And they would just put you in a chair, and they'd just shave your hair off. Like,
so people just rather get a haircut than eat a cheese ball?
No, I mean it was like this big, like deep fried, like hunk of cheese. Like I don't think a human could eat it.
That sounds delicious to me, man.
Then you get your head shaved.
Yeah, man.
They would just think you were pussying out. So it's like that.
Hey, man, what if you needed a haircut, man, and that was your due?
That was a freebie. That was a freebie.
Yeah, Nintendo don't have any drunk stories like that. Like, you know, I used to drink with coworkers and stuff. I met a lot of people too. Like, you know.
I remember talking to you one time about the whole Nintendo. It was right after you got the job, and you told me the story that on the floor that you worked, it was like, I guess near the elevator, I don't know where, but there was a whole case that just had games and consoles, and that you guys can just grab them at will. And I'm like, what? Do you remember that? Something about the 3D, there's the 3DS was around? I don't remember if it was 3, but it was a Game Boy something. And you were like, yeah, all the games are there, and we're allowed to grab the consoles and play.
No, well, okay, so when I was working out of Redmond before they had moved to New York, and one of the things they had, I guess they were because we took over for the publications team that was Nintendo Power, so they had a whole bunch of shit they had bought for competitive research. They had like PSPs and all this stuff lying around, and basically the last day we were there, they were packing up pallets to move it to New York, and they said whatever doesn't get packed up, we are tossing it, right? And I'm like, you have systems here and shit. So me and my buddy, we were like packing till like the last minute when we had to head to the airport. We're packing stuff for the office. So like some of it like didn't make, we just kept it because it's like they're just gonna throw it away. So like somebody got a PSP, I grabbed some Game Boys. Like we were fucking grabbing shit left and right because they were gonna throw them in the trash. They had a bunch of like Game Boy games they didn't even give, GBA games they didn't even give a shit about. Like, yeah, so that was one crazy thing, and they didn't care anyway because it was the publications team stuff, and all those guys were gone. So
and then you make a Wii. I remember you saying that too. That you made.
No,
I
didn't make a Wii.
Shit,
I know I think it was maybe, you know, at some point. I know they had you at the factory at some point.
No, we went to North Bend, which is the where they package most of the stuff. And North Bend is a gigantic like shipping facility, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, it's nice. It's decorated with these like giant floor to ceiling scrolls of Nintendo characters and stuff. And they had these robots going around, and they pick up pallets and move them to places. Let's see, I like crazy Nintendo stories. I'm trying to think, like,
yeah, and be careful too, because there's some shit you told us off here. I'm like, damn, Nintendo, what the fuck?
All right, yeah, this stuff I can't talk about. I mean, I can mostly mention like when I met Charles Martinet, and everybody was pissed off because he had just done one of the Ratchet and Clank games, and I was asking him about that work because I'm like, everybody's gonna ask him about Mario. He says the same shit as Mario. I'm like, dude, you just did this character Orvis. What was your motivation? Because he doesn't sound like the other characters you do. I was asking him all these interesting questions. Yo, so this guy was hanging out talking to me because I would actually ask him shit that they weren't willing to ask because it wasn't Nintendo stuff, right? So Sony stuff. So people are like grousing at me, like, rrr. I'm like, I don't give a shit. This guy does all this other stuff besides go woohoo and make Italian stereotype jokes. So it's funny too. Yeah, and I was telling people because nobody had thought at the time. I'm like, why don't you just ask him? Because he was walking around the office. I'm like, why does anybody ask him to do their voicemail? So I'm like, ask him to do. But like people are like, okay, should we ask him? I'm like, go ahead and ask him. I'm like, hey Charles, can you do a funny voicemail? Can you do Mario on the voicemail? And people were also start asking him to do it. So that was a cool meeting. I remember met Miyamoto, and his translator was like 10 feet tall. The guy was like walking around with him. I'm tall. I'm like 6'3", and this guy was like over me. He was like the dude from like Drunken Master. I thought this guy could just like kick you into the ceiling. And this guy's walking. Miyamoto's like 4 feet tall, so this was amazing.
He made difference. I'm guessing like Miyamoto's like, get me the hugest, biggest translator that can also double as my bodyguard.
Yeah, because usually everyone just sees Bill Trinan, but you didn't see this tall Japanese motherfucker walking around with him, man. Shit.
And he go, Omae Shinjiru.
Yeah, he could have. He could. He looked like he could just kill you in one punch.
Oh man, Brian, what about you, man? Any crazy gaming related stories besides the one you already told? That shit is fucking nuts, man.
No, I ain't got anything, to be fair. Like, pretty mundane. I'm sorry, you guys. I have failed you.
Nah, man, I'm gonna count the other one as your crazy gaming story. That shit is wild, son. Carlos, what about you, man?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Brian. I guess the craziest thing I've ever done is go to two random guys' apartment to get my Xbox modded. I think I told this in this
Yo.
I was like 13, 14. I forgot how. No, I was old enough to drive. I think I was like 15 maybe. And I just like I met like these two random dudes on Xbox that happen to live where I live. Yeah. And then I went to their fucking apartment just like with no fucking care in the world or no sense of fucking.
Tell anybody you were going? I mean, this is how people end up missing.
I don't remember, man.
Yo, you're crazy, man.
I just went up to their fucking apartment and got my Xbox modded. But I'm like, God fucking damn it! Like, I like retroactively, you just think and you're like, they could have fucking killed me.
They could have, and yeah.
Like, and these apartments weren't located in like a fucking nice area either. It was pretty much the fucking hood.
Shit, we used to have mod parties at my apartment. Remember that, Manny? People come over with the Xbox and stuff, and
yep, get some
modded pizza. Everybody's boxes right there in a row, one by one, connected to my 55-inch. Remember that projection TV I had?
Oh yeah,
that's crazy. Adam, you got any other ones, man? Before we wrap up,
I have one that it haunts me to this day, and it's just one of those things. Well, it is what it is. It's my my Christmas Story type movie moment, and Manny was in this one too, and it was at the Nintendo Jared Javits Championships. Remember that?
Yeah.
And so there was a chance to win a Game Boy, and I had a Game Boy, but I was like, oh, you get to win a special one. There was something special with this one, but I remember they were like, well, what you have to do is you have to play that championship version, which is the Mario, get 50 coins, then Ridge Racer, win the first race, and then you play Tetris and get the highest score. And so they put you in a pool of like 74 people, it's like 75 together, right? And the top ones make it to the stage. So I won that one, and he was like, all right, we'll call you later, when it's time to do the big show on stage. So there's a person who wins, and then that person got the Game Boy, and they get to sit in the special chair, and then there's three people that stand in front, and you have monitors, and then it's a big screen, and that's the show, right? So everybody gets. So I was excited. I was going to be up there. So I get up there, and I'm like, this is it. I'm going to win. I'm going to beat these guys. I'm going to win this Game Boy. And I just remember the first round, the first game, Mario, I'm jumping up, collecting the coin, and I missed one, and I go to press back on the D-pad, and back doesn't work. So I keep going forward, but then the announcer is like, oh, and so it's this and this and that. And I'm like, my D-pad doesn't work. I can't go back. And he's like, oh, no. And he's like, yeah, Adam's falling behind in a point. I'm like, yo, he's just ignoring. So I just said, all right, I got to go forward. And I couldn't really do much, but I eventually got the coins. But and I look over and I see everybody's already playing Ridge Racer. Then I get in Ridge Racer. Then I can't move to the left you know, because the D-pad doesn't work, so I can't move. So I'm like sort of dragging on the right. I'm like, what the, you know? And then finally I get to Tetris, and I can't move any of the pieces. Of course, I lost. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, tough luck. That I'm making somebody won. I was so mad. And I was like, this is bullshit. It's like I was so hyped because I remember we did that part early and I had to wait a few hours before getting called to the big stage, get on the big stage, and the D-pad's back. And I even remember when I got off, there was somebody there. I was like, that D-pad doesn't work. Whoever makes it next, whatever, kid, just keep going. They just brushed me off. They didn't give a shit. And that always bothered me because I'm like, then that was my chance to win a Game Boy.
And you did it. You managed to do it. Here's the other thing. You managed to do it twice.
Yeah,
you managed to get up on the stage twice.
Yeah, and I think the first time I was so nervous that I just screwed up. But I knew the second. I was like, all right, I'm focused. I could do this. And then with my luck, fucking deep. Then something, because that was a short one. But another one was it Irving Plaza, and I got on stage to do Halo. Remember that?
Yep.
And then the guy next to me kept camping where I was spawning, kept killing me, and then I lost. I fucking got pissed, and security had to take me off. I was so mad because I was like, yo, I could do this, and I'm on the stage, and I felt I got that weird flashback of the Nintendo thing again, and I lost.
All right, y'all. It's 1:22. I got to get up in like 4 hours.
Yeah, damn. Yo, Torrence, man, props to you, man, hanging out here, man.
4.5 hours. I figure if I do this, then it won't expect much from me from the Warzone tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Blame it on us. You know what I'm saying?
Or you just invite like Tony on there.
Yeah, right. Even it out and shit. I'll host for you, man. But Torrence, thank you, man. Plug your stuff, man, because we're about to wrap up anyway.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, you already know.
Check me out at youtube.com/VGWarzone. Every Friday at 10. You can watch all the old episodes if you are just catching up to me right now. And I'm also on Twitter at Tor Davis, talking shit.
You already know. And Torrence, man, blast from the past right here, man.
There it is.
Play,
yeah.
There it is.
Fucking awesome, man. I could tell way more stories just from that first E3 you went to, man. That shit is nuts. But Torrence, but here's the thing that you guys need to understand. I talk to Torrence every fucking day. Like, people ask me, oh, what's going on with Torrence, man? What's he up to? I'm like, man, I talk to this cat all the time, son. You know?
We got a secret little channel that we talk.
Yeah,
if we could publish if we could publish our chats, we'd probably make fucking Jim, what's his name? Jim, what's the fat dude's name?
Oh,
Jim Sterling.
Sterling.
We could make Jim Sterling money off of those chats.
We probably
that
could.
Crazy, that funny.
That chat keeps us, both of us, sane. You know, because we can say some real shit in there. You know, Twitter's on some bullshit right now, but you know, man. All right, all right. And Andre, man, you know, plug your shit, man.
Man, I appreciate you having us, man. Man, it was fun. When you said that, I was like, "Oh hell yeah, Torrence hip hop! Oh yeah, I got to be on here."
Yeah. By the way, before you do that, here's the thing, because I was thinking like, okay, I need Torrence and hip hop, and I'm like, okay, I need one more cat in there. You were the first one, like, yo, I need Andre, man, because like you're one of the guys, you Torrence and hip hop, like you helped me, like, you know, learn the ropes and shit. So I'm like, 200, I gotta got my man on, you know. So I'm glad you were on. Thank you so much, man.
It's always fun hanging out with you guys, man. It's always fun. No, RealOtakuGamer.com. That's us. I'm a Taco Man 5000 pretty much everywhere. So, you know, just try to make sure you still have fun playing games, people, because the world has just gotten to a place where we don't recognize it anymore. So at least the games, at least we still got the games. You know, stay geeky, man. Just, you know, stay who you are, man. Don't let these people sway you. Just stay who you are.
That's what it's all about, man. All right, let's wrap this shit up. So thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco and joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys. And also, don't forget to keep an eye on Konami EU for some artwork that I did, because you know, for Zone of Vendors, which is just came out recently. So for the next I don't know what we're up to. Like, for the next few days, they're just gonna be posting artwork that I did based on Zone of Vendors, which is really awesome.
Badass.
Nice.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Batman, motherfucker.
He Batmaned himself.
He Batman himself, man. It's late, you know. Brian Manjoma.
We made it to 200. 100 more, and then we're at the Spartan level.
Yes. That's right.
Go get Wesley Snipes on.
You know, Adam Vale.
Yeah, have a good weekend, people. Go watch some Lucha Underground. If you can catch All In, go watch that. That was really cool. A lot of funny moments.
All right, and Mr. Andre Tipton.
I appreciate it, man. Just everybody, just fun. That's me. I'm just here hanging out. I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Always, man. All right, guys. Remember, episode 200 of Throw Down Your Questions is this weekend. We're going to have Riku Sun 1 and Richard Bailey. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's an AMA, too. We're going to do a live show. We're going to take every question. It don't matter about the gaming, movies, comics, anime, whatever. It's going to be a fun show. Make sure you come around to that, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Live AMA, man. Episode 200, man. Later.
Later, guys.
Later.